the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the opening round of the 2020 Karts to Computers iRacing series. This first race of the season is being brought to you from the lovely virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the aptly named Indianapolis, Indiana. My name is Marshall Crocker Jr., and I will be alone in the booth tonight, unfortunately, but I'll be doing my very best to bring you insight into all the racing action that will be happening on your screen. In terms of the drivers, we've got a modestly large but very talented field consisting of 16 karting regulars, all of whom really wish they could be at the real track tonight. But hey, I'd say it doesn't get closer to the real thing than iRacing. Now, as some qualifying laps begin to be put down by our drivers, as you can see on the graphic on the left, let me just give you some information about tonight's race. So tonight's race is going to be 120 laps long, good for 300 miles, hence the Indy 300 name. There will be 2 green-white checkered finish opportunities. So essentially what that means for any of you that aren't huge into racing, it means that if we happen to get a caution in the last maybe 3 laps of the race, that would force us to end the race under caution. Basically, the winner would win the race without an actual race to finish it. That there will be a green-white checker finish, meaning the race will restart again with 2 laps to go, hoping we can finish the race clean. If 2 of those green-white checkers go by and we're unable to finish the race, then the race will indeed end under caution, and the person who was furthest ahead at the time of the caution will be your race winner. The lucky dog rule is also in effect, and basically that rule means that the leader on the first lap down from the leader, in this case they'll probably usually be like 10th or back, they will get to pass the pace car under a caution, and they'll essentially get their lap back for free. Hopefully that means they can try to race competitively again. Every driver will receive 2 quick repairs in tonight's race, which essentially means that if they get in a crash and they're sent to the pits, where they would normally have lots of damage after an incident, they will kind of get like a free do-over, meaning they'll have to do a quick 2-second wait. Their car will come back completely new and fixed, and then they'll be able to continue the race. Let me just go over some of the points for this season. So this will be in effect for the entire 10 race, at least for this current season. It's format for the Karts to Computers iRacing series. So 30 points are going to be awarded to your winner, 25 to the guy who finishes second, 22 to whoever finishes third. And then it'll go down by 2 points until you get to 10th position, where it'll drop off by 1 point per driver. Drivers are going to get 5 bonus points for starting on pole. So if you look at your graphic right now, Logan Paxa, currently your pole sitter there, who would receive 5 bonus points in his season total. Then 3 bonus points for running the fastest lap of the race. And then a single bonus point for leading a lap, leading the most laps, or not having a single incident occur to them throughout the race. Now, before we take a look at our coverage for this race, and before we get qualifying wrapped up, I just want to go back to our practice race we did on Thursday. So I know those of you who are waiting for that race to start on the live YouTube broadcast channel, unfortunately, because of a fault of my own, that race or that broadcast was unable to start. So let me just give you a quick screenshot of the finish to that race. If you look at that, was our finish we dealt with on Thursday night. So if you look in the gray car there, that's Logan Paxa, our current qualifying leader, who I know has switched to a different black and yellow scheme for this race, but that was his car on Thursday. And Michael Trobach. So the two of them had a very heated battle throughout the entire 80 laps of the practice race. And the finish was solved by 7/1000ths of a second in that finish. So if that's anything to give you a hint about what you'll see in tonight's race, then we're going to have some pretty exciting action for sure. What else? So yeah, we can check on our current qualifying order before I go on here. So currently in first place, we have Logan Paxa. And let me just pull up my entire graphic here. I believe, there we go. Sorry, Jordan West will be currently running in second. Then Matt Clark in third. Marco Felice in fourth. Michael Trobach running in the 5th position. Brian Ellis running in 6th. Samuel McAtern running in 7th. Devin Crosby with the 8th quickest time. He was our pole sitter in our practice race. Renee Hart will be starting in 9th if if qualifying ends the way it has currently. Freddie Esposito, don't mind the A there, in 10th position. Rich Foligno starting in 11th. Todd Ricard would be starting in 12th. Justin Lewick would be starting in 13th. Arnel Tabang would be starting in 14th. And my father, Marshall Crocker Sr., would be starting in 15th. Don't worry, that is not me. What else do we go over? So if we look at qualifying right now, maybe we can go live on board to one of our qualifiers at the moment. So let's see if Logan Pax, our pole sitter, is still on track. He is not, unfortunately. So, guys were given 10 minutes to do their 4 laps. Their 4 laps were kind of just as a buffer in case they happened to get in an incident in their first lap and needed to run a couple more. Realistically, just due to tire wear and basically how guys leave the pits on their first lap for qualifying, most of them would have set their fastest lap on the second lap, meaning that whatever laps you see up there, that's most likely how we're going to be starting our race. And as we move forward, so just some information while we wait for qualifying to finish up and for those positions to become official. Just some information about the series. So we may be running our opener for the Indy 300 in the IndyCar series with the Dallara IR18 car at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But throughout the series, we won't be doing an entirely IndyCar series. So next week we move on to Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, one of the world's most famous tracks, for a global Mazda MX-5 race. Then after that, let me try to remind myself what comes after that. I may not. Okay, well, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I may not have the schedule up like I thought. Let me just do a quick check. So yeah, the week after that we'll be doing Charlotte Roval. So the road course configuration of the Charlotte Oval course in the Skip Barber. So in the first 3 weeks of the series, we're already gonna have 3 different car types, which we think should get some variety going, get some just get some interesting races for some guys that may specialize in a certain series or may struggle in another. It'll just mean that after our 10th race happens and we check our point standings, that the guy who's lucky enough to be the winner, or I shouldn't say lucky enough, talented enough to be the winner, will have proven themselves in a variety of disciplines. So yeah, as we come with 2 minutes to go in our qualifying session, let me just give you some backstory as well on to the Karts to Computers iRacing series itself. So this is a series I started not even a week ago. This kind of just came to be because I know a lot of guys at our local karting track. A lot of us race together in Hamilton, Ontario. We all thought, well, we're not doing anything racing wise. Like the racing season is delayed, obviously because of, as I'm sure all of you are aware, COVID-19. Meaning that anybody who is looking to race is going to have to do so from home in setups on their computers, hence the name. So iRacing being the biggest and I would say the most proper sim in all of sim racing, we figured what better way to do it than this, and we figured we'll set out our 10 race season, make it all official, and we'll hopefully crown a winner before our final race on, I believe, May 16th. Now, as we come towards the end of qualifying with about a minute left, looks like no changes have happened in the order. I will say quickly that this is a way closer qualifying grid than we had in our qualifier for the practice race. So our pole sitter Devin Crosby had the fastest lap of about 2.5 tenths in our last qualifier, and to see that. Well, really, as I said in the last race, you could pretty much throw a napkin over the maybe top 8 guys in terms of the qualifying position. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you it's going to be a close race, then I don't know what does. But so 120 laps. What I will say before we go in and look at our starting grid, this will absolutely be a case of it'll be a race of attrition for sure. As in, like, you're able to stay on the track past maybe lap 100. You should be finishing in at least 10th position. And anybody that's watched really any major racing series all across the world will be very familiar with kind of super speedways being. They can be crash fests for most series, whether it's IndyCar or NASCAR, it doesn't matter. There's going to be some big incidents, and when they happen, some guys are going to gain positions, and some are going to be unfortunate enough to wreck out in them. But as I mentioned before, with the quick repairs, hopefully that should mean that guys are able to get kind of a second chance and nobody gets sent home prematurely. Or, well, I guess we're already home. Nobody gets sent out of the sim too early. That works better. So as we come to the very end of qualifying, our race is about to start. There we go, the checkered flag, which means officially your pole sitter will be Logan Paxa, your winner of the practice race from Thursday. Let me just throw up our results graphic here. There we go. Let's just empty this guy. There we go. So as we come to our qualifying results for, I'm going to have to change that graphic. Don't mind the test race banner there, ladies and gentlemen. As we come to our starting grid for tonight's race, as you can see, Logan Paxa will take the pole for the first official race of the season. Jordan West will start in the second position. Matt Clark will start in third. Marco Felice will start in fourth. Michael Trobach, who finished second in that very close finish in the test race, will start fifth. Brian Ellis will start sixth. Samuel McAtern will start in seventh. Devin Crosby will start in eighth. Renee Hart will start in ninth. Rounding out the top 10, we have Frankie Esposito. It says Angelo, but that's a mistake on my part. Rich Foligno will start in 11th. Todd Ricard starts in 12th. Justin Leluick starts in 13th. Arnel Tabang starts in 14th. And Marshall Crocker, my father, will round out the grid in 15th. Josh Gallagher should be running today's race. He didn't get a chance to qualify, and I will, however, not be, because I had to put myself in the session to commentate this thing. So don't mind me there. Where do we go from there? So let's throw up all our graphics. If you just look quickly in the top right corner, the big oval that you can obviously notice, that is the track map for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Basically, that'll just be a good reference point to see the distances between certain cars in the track. The number on each car corresponds to their position. So if you look at the timing tower on the left-hand side, that will correspond to each driver's position. So you should be able to check where any drivers you're specifically watching the broadcast to watch. You can check where they are on track at any given time. Now, while I just quickly make sure I have everything set up for the broadcast as we go to our warm-up lap, as all the drivers fall behind the pace car, let me just maybe go on board with our pole sitter Logan Paxa, and we can get from his eyes from his point of view a lap around the speedway. Okay, well, as we come into corner 4 for the final turn of our warm-up lap here, Logan Paxa will take the field to the green flag. We did have a crash in our very first lap at our practice race, so here's hoping that they'll be able to figure out the start a little cleaner this time. And here we go. So you see Logan Paxa there, that yellow and black Wix car in the front position. It looks like he's already started going. The green flag will be waved momentarily. And the Indy 300 round 1 of the Karts to Computers iRacing Series has begun. Very solid start for Logan Paxa. Seems to have already started to take off from the field behind. A pretty good jump, but actually we see Matt Clark, who I believe started third in our race, already jumping up to second. Doesn't look like any incidents so far, so already a very clean start compared to what you may have expected from a field this large. So Matt Clark trying to get the draft on Logan Paxa as we come through our very first time running turn 3. Now we move back. We're just going to check around a little bit. You see here about a 3-car pack forming in front, and then you see about 6 more kind of in that second group there, led by Marco Felice, who's coming into pit road actually for his very first lap. Oh, he's already spun in pit road entrance. We'll have to check on him. I don't know what's just happened to his car, but going back, going to check on some of the drivers running in that backpack there. So you see way up front there is Max, our leader. Currently on board with Devin Crosby, our winner, or should I say our pole sitter from our practice race. So you guys start to cycle through, and Paxa with a pretty decent lead over the field so far, but That midfield settling in pretty nicely. Don't be making any big moves so far, which is good to see. So as we come out of the second time through the fourth corner, everybody's starting to bunch up a little bit. Some close racing happening there from the second position. That's Matt Clark running in the all-black car there. Michael Trobach running behind him in the blue and white entry. Running in the black and teal car there, that's Jordan West running in the third position. Those two should expect to see a battle happening right about now, I'd say. Oh, everybody's going to dive to the inside, so already some defensive lines happening. Anybody that dives to the inside is trying to break the slipstream on them. And, of course, IndyCar, for any of you that don't know, is a huge slipstream series, meaning the closer you can run behind somebody and try to use the... it appears we would have a caution. I didn't happen to notice that. It's Arnell Tabang who looks to be banged up. Hey, hopefully the worst joke I'll make all stream. Let's just check back here. So yeah, big damage to his engine cover there, but let's just see what happened there. So looks like a multi-car collision. We're on board with Tabang. Still just a couple drivers, a big crash there. I believe that's the 5 car. Totally sure that's Justin Lewick in the 5 car. Looks like some guys are going to get towed back to pit road. So as I mentioned before the race started, drivers do have a quick repair, meaning they can, 2 quick repairs. So they can go back to the pits, try to heal up their damage a little bit, and send the car back out again. So the 2 will try to salvage their cars all the way back to pit road. If you choose to park your car and tow your car back to the pits in iRacing, it means you don't have to do any of the driving yourself. The only downside being some very long wait times. For those who wish to take that option, usually about 2 or 3 minutes, which, even running cool down laps during cautions, that might still give the field about a lap or 2 a chance to lap you. So never a chance you want to take, especially not if you have to fix damage anyway. So we see Justin Lewick with his very broken Dallara IR18 heading back to the pits. Let's just check on our leader, Logan Paxa, currently on the backstretch coming into turn 3. So we can do a quick check here. We just pull up our game graphic. So as you see here, Logan Pax, obviously still your leader. Matt Clark moved up from 3rd to 2nd. Jordan West did the inverse, dropped a position to Mr. Clark and dropped to 3rd position. Michael Trobach is in 4th. Brian Ellis is in 5th. Sam McJern, my bad, will move up to the 6th position. Devin Crosby moves up to 7th. Rich Foligno up from 11th to 8th. Todd Ricard from 12th to 9th. Freddie Esposito still sitting in 10th. Josh Gallagher, who started from the back of the field because he was unable to qualify, currently in the pits, but he did make a significant move up the field from 16th to, I believe at the time, 11th, but he'll now move back as he enters the pits. Justin Lewick, who we saw involved in the incident, will need to repair his damage, currently in 13th, where he started. Arnell Tabang in 14th. Marco Felice, easily the biggest drop in position thanks to that incident, dropping 11 spots from 4th to 15th. No wonder all those guys ahead of him moved up exactly 1 position. And Renee Hart, who had a very successful practice race, I know has been very quick in practice and such, has gone from 9th to 16th, unfortunately. John Garrett also as well, running in 17th. I don't believe he was able to start this race either, so... Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, like Renee, are going to get involved in incidents today. It's just kind of how iRacing works, kind of how any series works, and it's less so about trying to avoid those incidents. That would be ideal if drivers could, but hey, not everybody's going to have perfect races. But it's about taking those quick repairs and kind of getting the mindset back that you can go out there and win this thing from wherever you are. So, Renee Hart, like I just talked about, he's been quick, even though he's in 16th. If he's got a fully repaired car that's ready to go, I would not be in any way surprised if he was able to, within 10 to 20 laps, come up and battle for the lead with some of these guys. I do just quickly want to mention as well our stints for fuel here. So should be about 29 to 35 laps you can go on a tank of fuel, meaning that each driver will on average need about 3 pit stops if they want to finish this race without running out of fuel, which, always ideal, I'd say, for anybody driving any sort of car. So about 3 qualifying, three caution pit stops would be my most likely recommendation for guys. Any pit stops taken qualifying, essentially meaning nobody can get the chance to pass you or try to lap you. Everybody pits equally. I hope we don't have enough cautions to make that the case, but you never know. If you see, for any of those who aren't huge racing people that are watching this broadcast, if you see the guys kind of swaying back and forth there, trying to get heat in their tires, the only purpose to that being if you're on older tires or you go through too many breaks in a row, because we were on board with Brian Ellis, who I know was just doing it. If you go through too many breaks in a row, your tires start to get a little bit cold. They lose grip when you go back green. And considering going green, basically coming off the caution stoppage, is usually the best way to make passes on something, at least early in a run. That being, obviously, when you're closest to everybody else. You want your tires as gripped up and good to go as you can. So by swerving back and forth and getting those heat in the tires, they grip them up for the ensuing restart, which, as I say it, you can see maybe we'll go on board with Logan Paxa there. But if we see from his perspective, the flashing lights on the pace car are indeed off, meaning that we will be going green this time by. Pretty cool view here from Logan Pax's car. If we just check behind him, just to get a bit of an idea how big the field in tonight's race is. Again, so 16 guys should be left in today's race, 17 if Jean Guerre is okay. I know he was having some technical difficulties, but hopefully he's able to manage. It does say he's currently out, but you know, I'm staying optimistic that he can get out there and hop on the track. So yeah, Logan Paxa, again, 1-year practice race. He did not have the pole lap today, but you know, he's probably been the quickest guy out there all day. Sorry, he did have the pole lap. What am I talking about? He did have the pole lap. He's been quick all practice race. He's been quick all day, and seeing his amazing defensive line in our practice race, I would in no means be surprised if he were the one to come home and win the very first race of our season. So Logan will come around in the final time for turn 4 in this particular caution. As we see, our pace car is about to take that hard left-hander into the pit lane. There he goes. Logan Paxa now waits for the green flag to drop. He's going to jump a little bit. There we go as he heads off down into turn 1. Pretty decent jump, I'd say, of all the ones I've seen as we go green flag here. Unfortunately, we only have a red lights graphic, but, you know, hey, you guys can imagine. So, yeah, very decent gap being formed already by our leader, Logan Paxa. He's been very quick at restarts really all week, even in any of our practices together, but as we see that two-man tandem of Matt Clark and Jordan West, West is going to jump outside of Clark, try to get that position he lost early in the race back. Actually, Clark almost setting up a pass there on Paxa. Now West will look under Clark. As we come up to corner 4, definitely a good corner to try to get a runoff with past people on the front stretch. Let's move back a little bit in the field, check on some other drivers. We got Sam McIntyre back here, Devin Crosby, your pole sitter for our first practice race that unfortunately went on air. Rich Foligno sitting back there in 8th. Todd Ricard pretty much sitting on his own. Unfortunately, he's out of the draft, so he'll have a tough time catching up. Then we got Freddie Esposito and my father, Marshall Crock, chasing him down as we speak for the 10th and 11th position, respectively. I got Josh Gallagher, who started from, I believe, the back of the field due to not having a qualifying lap, but he's already sitting up in 12th with Justin Lewick. Actually, that's Marco Felice second on the pass on. Let's go back to the front of the field. Logan Paxa remains where he was, but definitely a very good battle for him between Matt Clark and Jordan West here. Michael Trobach trying to get involved in that blue and white 72 car. Let's maybe go to a different camera here, just a better representation. There you go. So we're riding on board with Mr. Matt Clark. He looked fine, and West trying to set up a pass there in 68, unable to make it stick, but he's going to try to dive under, maybe get a pass going here. Now he decides the better of it. He's going to run a little conservative and slide in behind Mr. Matt Clark. Michael Trobach, let's see who he goes with. The blue and white car, he's going to follow West. Now Clark dives all the way down to try to block. See that 5th position there, Brian Ellis isn't really going with anybody, but West will try to go to the outside of Clark. Let's see if he can make it stick. He will. What a pass by Jordan West. My goodness, one of the best outside passes I've seen here all week. But this means Matt Clark is going to have to move back to third where he started. Now Michael Trobach, maybe the momentum sends him backwards. Trobach tried to make a move there. Let's check out with the Logan Paxa. He's now got West on his outside. Big move here by Jordan West. As I talked about the momentum as he comes around the outside as we come into 1. He made a pass on the outside in 4. Let's see if he can make it stick here. He will, I believe. Almost clear him. Will he have the run on the outside? We'll see. Clearly Matt Clark doesn't think so. He's going to go with Mr. West here. Setting up to the top. They're going to try to follow West and Trobach. West might clear him. He will indeed. Jordan West, our first other leader besides Logan Paxa. And remember, he will get a bonus point if he leads the lap here. So Paxa may have already dropped his lead here in the very early stages of this race in 10th, but he's been quick all week. I would not be surprised if that didn't last too long, as West will lead the lap, meaning Jordan West will gain a bonus point on top of Paxa's 5 he already gained for being your pole sitter. Some crashes. Oh, Paxa's going to take damage from West. West closes him off. Logan Paxa, will that bring the caution out? For his sake, I would hope so, because, man, it looks like he's going to have a lot of damage. There won't be a caution. Logan Paxa, you got to feel for him. That was Kind of an unfortunate move there. We look like we might have a second, so let's go back and check on that. Unfortunately, we don't have the instant replay cam, meaning I can just jump back whenever I want. But let's try to get a good look there as we see. Yeah, just kind of ran him out of room there as we came into the exit to corner one. Just, yeah, you're not going to like that if you're Logan Paxton. But as I said, he has the quick repair. He has a chance to get back in this race, absolutely. Knowing how quick he's been, I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. Now, as we see in that incident, Michael Trobach may have taken damage. I know it sent Matt Clark, who was for the time ahead of back past him. So this is the battle we've already had early in the race. As we see the caution does come out. Let's check on Mr. Paxa. Hopefully that wasn't because of him. Another driver actually involved there. Let's see who that is. Is that Renee Harp? No. I'm actually unsure. I believe. Oh, maybe it's Josh Gallagher who hits the wall trying to come into pit entrance. I mean, when you have that much damage and your tires aren't turned the direction your head is, that's never a good good sign, ladies and gentlemen. So as he comes in, hopefully that quick repair will go quick, as as is in the name. And yes, we'll see Paxa come in. We'll just watch the quick repair happen live, provided he pulls into his box properly, which is a little bit wide. Maybe, yeah, there you go. So, obviously, any of you who are not big race fans, that's not how it works in qualifying. But iRacing, the beauty of a simulator. So he'll have a perfectly up to speed car, and he'll be ready to move back through the field, as I am no doubt sure he will. But yeah, Jordan West, as we see, already very aggressive off the start, moving up one position back past Matt Clark for second, as we saw a moment ago, and then that big pass that we saw on Mr. Paxa that led to the unfortunate caution we have now. And I'm sure Logan will have a fire under him as we move forward in this race. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're going to be seeing all day. The fairly large field full of people trying to move up for positions in the championship, that I know, talking to guys, they seem pretty passionate about everything in terms of points and bragging rights. So like, this is pretty meaningful to guys that haven't raced in almost half a year, that guys like Jordan or guys like Logan are going to be making big moves that hopefully for the most part stay clean. But in cases like that, where unfortunately two guys get together, got to keep your head up and try to gain all the points you can. And I'm sure in Logan's case, as I keep saying, probably the quickest guy I've seen on his own all week so far. So, his race is by no means out, as we see him in the background there, that black and yellow car. Actually, Michael Trobach just pitted right now, and Michael, definitely an iRacing veteran himself, one of the highest I ratings, basically code for. It's like a high score in an 80s video game, but in terms of an online racing sim, that's Michael. He is absolutely the most experienced in this race. So if he feels the need to pit right now for whatever strategy purpose, I'm going to trust him on it. I think he's probably got the method to his questionable madness here, pitting on lap 14, but he'll come out at the back of the field with Logan, and maybe those two can set up a tandem there, as we saw in our test race, or our practice race that happened, where they had the 7,000ths of a second split finish. So those two have a relationship for sure, but Jordan West will remain your pole sitter. Or not your pole sitter, your leader going back to the yellow. Back out of the yellow. What am I saying? I think I need a drink. So we're going to sit here and quickly and ride on board with Mr. Jordan West, as he is your new leader. Sorry about that quick blip there, ladies and gentlemen. I still having a few technical difficulties as we come to only my second broadcast trying to host this series, our first live. Sorry again for the technical difficulties Thursday that meant there was no broadcast to watch at all. If any of you, I know we might have a few of these longer caution sessions in practice. I will be looking at the chat, so if anybody has any questions or anything they want to mention, or just anything to say about the broadcast, I wouldn't be in any way opposed to reading some comments on the YouTube live chat. So if anybody has anything they want to say down there, as we come back to, I believe, one lap until we come back to green. Pace car light's still on. We'll see if they turn off right here. As I mentioned before, Jordan West trying to warm up the tires, get some grip back in those bad boys, and yeah, I believe that the pace car will be hitting this time. Indeed, it will. So, yeah, one lap to go. Matt Clark and Jordan West, we saw their battle earlier. They will now be running 1-2 for the lead. Should be a pretty exciting battle overall. Brian Ellis, as we see in our our graphic there, which I never remembered to take off. Brian Ellis was running in 6th position, up to 3rd now. Devin Crosby, our pole sitter for our first race, who finished 3rd in our test race, I have failed to mention so far. Yeah, he started in 7th, or sorry, in 8th. A pretty mediocre lap by his standards, I'm sure, and what he'd like, but he's already up to 4th, so he's trending upwards. Speaking of trending upwards, Todd Ricard started 12th, now up to 5th. Definitely not a performance to complain about from him today, so let me just switch our graphic around here, back to the interval to the car in front. There we are. A little less relevant right as we speak, but let's try to keep that up for the rest of the race. Now, if we, what else could we look at here? Let's pull this graphic out a little bit, but you know, maybe just a few interesting things. Our top speed, as you can see up there. That graphic must be wrong. My goodness. For those wondering, 130 kilometers an hour. You've maybe, hopefully not, but you've probably gone faster than that in your car on the highway. So hopefully that graphic updates. But Rich Foligno, I'm guessing he did not go 387 kilometers an hour. That is way too quick. We're just not going to show that graphic for the rest of the race. Try to fix that afterwards. If we do look at the interval graphic, though, only 8 cars on the lead lap, right as we watch Jordan West come into corner 4 for the last time before we head back to green. But yeah, 8 cars in the lead lap, a few with a lap down. The lucky dog rule obviously in effect, meaning that if we were to get another caution, Rene Hart would get his lap back as he is the first driver on the lap down. We see the pace car take the hard left. Jordan's going to punch the gas, and here we go, going back to green at the Indy 300. As we finish one lap back under green here, we already see some battles forming for sure. Matt Clark running in 2nd, but some heavy pressure from the other black car there, and Brian Ellis sitting right behind him. Behind them, Devin Crosby, our winner, or our pole sitter for the first test race again, who has been very quick all weekend. Looks like he's trying to maybe catch up to those guys in front of him. They're right behind him. Todd Ricard moved up from 12th, definitely some pace here, and he may get under Crosby and move up to that's 4th position there. He has, so he's cleared him. If he can just make this stick, will he drive it in front of him? Yeah, he's going to stay clean. So Matt Clark and Brian Ellis, really that big battle there for 2nd. Maybe trying to make a push up there for 1st, but Jordan West, I know, has had a pretty good defensive line every time he's been in front so far. So, oh, goes wide there. That was, what was that? I'm going to tell that car. Marco Felice, I believe, is in that front group, but he's a lap down, so some damage there, unfortunately. I'm sure he's trying to stay as clean as he can. Maybe get his lap back under green would be ideal for him. That way he doesn't need the lucky dog, and he can take a pit stop on our next caution. As we see going wide, Matt Clark trying to pass Jordan West back. If West moves up a little bit wide, just the way he's been going so far, when he takes that certain line he just took, Clark might be able to move past him. Clark, is he going to jump to the high side? He's got the slipstream for sure, manages to avoid contact. Ellis is going to stick with West. Maybe he hopes Clark will go. No, he won't. He'll go follow Clark into the corner. Clark's going to go to the outside. Is he going to be able to clear him? It's like not so far, but he'll have the better entry here. And yes, he will. Matt Clark, your new leader to tonight's race. Jordan West. Brian Ellis is going to sit to his outside. Brian Ellis will pass him clean. Looks like he's got the slipstream from Matt Clark's car. So the two fairly all black cars are definitely running through the field like a bat out of hell right now. They're trying to move up to the front. And maybe Ellis, with all this momentum he's gained, will try to make a move on Clark, but behind them, you got Jordan West sitting in 3rd, very close, almost hits the wall. He's going to have a big slipstream there. Devin Crosby moving back, trying to follow Mr. Brian Ellis there in the slipstream, who looks like he might make a move here for 1st. He had the lead there at the line, so he'll gain a bonus point, but side by side, very close racing. He'll slot in behind Clark there in the 26. So move back a little bit. Devin Crosby running there in 4th. I just heard a crash sound, and we will have a caution coming out. To check who that was on. Just look through our driver. Sorry, I'm trying not to give anybody a seizure here. This is the way I'm going through these graphics. Marco Felice is in the pits. I wonder if he's the reason that caution came out. I know he had taken a earlier bump as we saw in the broadcast. Yes, there we go. Watch him come up here into corner one. An all red Coca-Cola car comes into the corner, and this is the corner he washed out on earlier. Is he going to do the same thing again? He will. Yeah, he just dove it in there. Hopefully he doesn't take anybody with him. Flipping over. Wow, Michael Trobach, I believe, was in the car behind him in that incident. Was he able to avoid him? Michael has been really quick all week, and we just saw him take that pit stop there. Was he able to get under him? This might be the perfect angle here for... Oh, that was the wrong thing. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't know where... There we go. Sorry for that. Yeah, so let's see if he was able to go completely under him, because if he was and he was able to avoid damage, well, I haven't seen many crash aversions luckier than that. So we're riding on board here with Michael Trobach. Wow, he looked like he was able to go right under him. I don't see any damage coming from that. So this car looks perfectly fine on the straightaway. So wow, what an aversion of a crash there for Michael Trobach. And Matt Clark, who made a big move there on Jordan West. So did Brian Ellis on our last green flag session. He will move up to the first position. Oh, our timing tower has appeared to have disappeared. Try to pull that there and put it back. Huh. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to mess around with the graphics for a minute, see if I can bring that back for you guys. No, it's not gonna work either. Huh. Well, just a little bit of technical difficulty here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, oh, what else could I do to try to fix that? Huh. Definitely not an issue I've had so far in my 2 broadcasts thus far. Let's see if that'll come back up. Is that, oh, and no, we're not going to show it at all. So, sorry about that. Hopefully, let's just pull that entirely. What about that? No, that doesn't work either. Okay, well, we are going to run with... Let's run with our leader, Matt Clark, again. Going to go to another brief break, so maybe we'll do a rear chase cam view for you and show you all the guys behind him as he tries to warm up his tires in preparation for our next green flag stop. And I'm just going to take another brief intermission as I try to figure out what's happening with some of our tech stuff here. So, just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, unfortunately for me, for the time being, it looks like we're going to have to do another attempt at fixing that graphic. I have the feeling it might come back up when we go to green and everybody fans out again. For the time being, what can we go through here? Well, we got the track map that I can put back up. Or not. Wow. Everything is working right now, it would appear. Track map. And... no. Well, this is... it's a pretty rough stint we're having here then. Let's pull this graphic here again. So, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We can still look at some of our camera views here just to try to get a better idea of the track we are running at here, that being Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A very famous racing location, really internationally considered, but definitely America's, at least in my opinion, their biggest racing event. You could argue the Daytona 500, the other 500 event. But yeah, so Indianapolis, as we see our pace car lights are off, so we're going to go to green and pray that our graphics work. But yeah, so the Indianapolis 500, at least as far as I'm aware, is the largest one-day outdoor, no, the largest one-day sporting event in the entire world. So they normally pack in about 250,000 people into the races. That's an absolutely massive, massive event for sure. And you can see all the fans, virtual in this case for sure, but just to give you a rough idea of just how many people there are in this giant 2.5 mile, really super stadium. So unusually we see, looks like they're just setting up for the start. Hopefully they know that they can go single file starts here and it's not double file. But yeah, so one of the world's largest sporting events, 250,000 people. And quickly before we go green, fun fact, on the Indy 500 day, Indianapolis, Indiana is the 13th largest city in the entire state, that being only the track itself. So yeah, definitely a little bit of confusion here on the start. Let's ride along with Matt Clark as we see the pace car take the hard left-hander. Here we go, Matt Clark going to take off, and very solid start for him. And Brian Ellis not too far behind, actually. Already got a slipstream on him. They might go side by side into turn one. Never a thing you expect to see. And already right behind Mr. Ellis there, Jordan West. We saw our former leader had an incident a little bit earlier, but yeah, he could move right back up through the field with the pace he showed earlier. Devin Crosby running behind him, kind of a four-man tandem happening there. Wow, hard draft there from Mr. Ellis there. West might go by him. He will indeed. Jordan West already moved back up to second. Will we see him try to make one more pass and go for the lead there? Our graphic still isn't working. I may in a minute consider resetting that entirely. But yeah, so Mr. Clark is going to block West, but West is going to try to go to his outside. Very exciting start to our race, or at least our green flag stint right here. West trying to block Ellis behind him. Let's go back to Devin Crosby and Trobach running in the 5th position. Those two are nowhere near each other, so it looks like a bunch of lap cars kind of packed into that middle groove there, all that red and white car group there. And Samuel McIntyre running in 6th, Todd Ricard in 7th. For those that, well, that's everybody who unfortunately can't see our time down. We go too wide here. Jordan West may make the pass on Mr. Matt Clark. He does indeed. So Jordan West moved back down to 3rd after he was passed by Ellis and Clark, but he's already moved back up to 1st, but Clark may not be happy with that. Matt Clark is going to try to go wide. Ellis right next to him on his outside. He almost takes him out there. So Clark is going to run to his outside. Ellis is going to try to get in the draft. If it looks like Matt Clark he's going to go with there. I believe it's Devin Crosby sitting in that inside. Should I say that inside lane here? Following behind currently Brian Ellis as we speak. So it's not like one lane is too particularly being favored. At least not right this second. Which, you know, is probably normal to see for guys who, for the most part, should have new tires. However, right as we speak, that would not be the case. They've got about 26 laps without a pit stop. As I say that, I thought somebody was going to dive in there. It's Jordan West from far to the inside, trying to get past Matt Clark again. Clark will lead the lap. I believe Clark, West, and Logan Paxa have all led laps, meaning they get a bonus point. Ellis trying to fall in behind Clark there, maybe move back up to 2nd as he was before. He's passed West before, and I believe he's passed Clark during this same race, so there's definitely a precedent for that. 3 cars are going to drive down the inside of the lane. Here comes Clark. He's going to go to the outside. Is he going to be able to make the pass on West? He looks like he might if he's able to clear him. He does indeed. Very quick corner. Looks like West kind of checked up, thinking he was going to make contact, and now Brian Ellis might be able to make a move here. Doesn't quite. Oh, a huge crash behind him. Devin oh my goodness. Wow, a car cartwheeling down the track. I'll try to tell who that was, but not him. My goodness, Devin Crosby, what happened there? Car sitting there sideways, diagonal, trying to run down the track here. Let's just get a good idea of what happened there. So Crosby is that car on the outside there, as you see riding beside, I believe that's Renee Hart. He goes into the corner and, oh wow, it just looked like he caught too much of the inside. Absolutely destroyed Renee Hart, who cartwheeled down the track. My goodness. Has to be one of the craziest flips I've ever seen, iRacing or otherwise. Let's just get one more replay of that before we go to our caution break here, but one more time. Wow, yeah, he just gets up sideways, and wow, huge damage as he hits the catch fence there. Meant to keep the fans safe, in this case the virtual fans, and nobody actually getting involved with that crash. Trying to tell who that was that went under him, but narrowly managed to avoid that wreck. Let's see, I believe that was my dad, Marshall Crocker, who just kind of went underneath the flipping Renee Hart. Let's maybe ride on board with him for a second as we see the incident happen in front of him. And the flipping happens there, and this goes straight under him. My goodness, if this were a real race, that would have been, I'd imagine, horrifying to see. But Crocker is okay, and Clark will still be your leader, I should say, new leader after that last stint, if I'm not wrong, which I think I am. Jordan West must have gotten passed back for that position, so yeah, quite the battle happening between your three front runners here, and Michael Trobach is going to move down a ways in the field. Some lap cars now taking up that room in front of him up to the third position. He is currently running in fourth. We're just going to take another brief break while we're on the caution as the guys try to warm their tires up again for no doubt another hard-fought green flag stint battle. And yeah, let me just check one more time if I can get my graphics up in order, and I'll be back momentarily. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like our graphics are back up and running. All it took was a quick reset. So, you know, the beauty of iRacing, and I believe it only fitting that I do my most successful work tonight on a computer. But as we look back to our leader, Matt Clark, who, as we see in our newly refreshed graphic, it will actually pull him out of the pits here, your current leader. Let's see if Jordan West decides to follow him. He's actually faking him out. Clark is going to pull back onto the track. Bit of a sneaky move there, trying to get guys behind him to maybe jump and see if he can get guys to pit early. Actually, at this point, as I said before, a 29-lap pit cycle normally. I'm kind of surprised nobody in that front group has decided to pit under caution yet. I know Michael Trobach, one of the few to have pitted previous, and he's actually running fourth with all of his pit work earlier. So, you know, definitely a guy that I could see making a push again if he is able to get those newer tires into good use, at least compared to the guys in front of him. Let's actually look back behind Mr. Trobach and a few of the guys running behind him. So Sam Ackturn running in the 5th position, the last guy in the top 5. Chodrick Hart also running on the lead lap in 6th. And Devin Crosby, pole sitter for our practice race, who's run very quick all day in that very patriotic Canadian tire car there. That says, for those wondering at home, please no Punterino. I don't feel I need to translate that for anybody who is familiar with how some guys run on iRacing. But as we move back on our top 7, all of whom are on the lead lap, let's just look at Josh Gallagher. Are running kind of, well, he's 4th in terms of track position right now. But yeah, he is our first guy on the lead lap. So if the lucky dog happens again and we get another caution, he should move up to the lead lap again. Rich Felino currently running 9th. Marshall Crocker, my father, running back there in the 55 blue and white car on the left of your, top left of your screen. Running in 10th position. Logan Paxa, our former leader, who has had a very successful race all day, unfortunately back to 10th. Frankie Esposito sitting there in the Robert Wickens car, running in 12th. All guys who are 1 or 2 laps down from the lead lap, including Renee Hard as well, who I mentioned before has also been very quick. So any of those guys, if they're able to get their lap back, could absolutely find a way to win this thing. But looks like we're getting ready to go back green as the pace car will take that hard left. Unfortunately, he's out of our screen already. No, there he goes, been to the pit lane, and Matt Clark going to go very early green flag. I believe the start of our 4th green flag of the race. Wow, my goodness, he jumped that quite a distance. Look at the gap he's already formed for himself. Very early on the start, but you know, once the pace car is reliably past the entry cone to pit lane, well, it's commonly considered you can go whenever you'd like. It's been a long time since I've seen somebody go quite that quick, and Jordan West running in 2nd there, Brian Ellis running 3rd, Michael Trobach running in 4th. Those are your kind of 4 main guys to look out for in this current battle. But yeah, wow, we saw Clark take quite the jump on that start, and Jordan West through the power of will, I guess, is kind of closing that gap. If you look at our interval tracker up there on our timing tower, he's making up tenths and tenths every second. He's going to try to jump to the outside of Clark, maybe go too wide here and into turn 1. Might get all the way around. Jordan West really clear him. I think he will. He will indeed. Jordan West, your new race leader, back and forth with Clark as they have been all race. Brian Ellis there sitting up in 3rd. Michael Trobach back there in 4th. Got a few guys to move through. Sam McIntyre behind him. Todd Ricard in 6th. He's moved up quite a bit today. Devin Crosby behind the car on the outside. Looks like he's getting passed actually by Rene Hart, trying to get a lap back on him. As we move back to the front, Matt Clark comes out through our final corner of the track. Jordan West chasing him very closely. Perfect view as we come out of corner 4 there. West trying to make a big push, maybe take him on the outside. Brian Ellis is going to try to fall in behind West there. Looks like he's more confident in his ability to pass Mr. Clark than the other way around. And West may actually lose the position back to Clark. No, they'll take it right back from that outside line. West has been great on that outside line all race, but yeah, as we see somebody diving out way hard, I think that's Michael Trobach maybe trying to make a pass in one of those lapped cars. Maybe get a better view here because I believe West is trying to make a pass happen again on the outside. Will Clark move up to block? Yes, he will. Now he's going to try to switch back, and looks like West is not done making moves here. He lost his lead just now to Clark. Those two have been in a huge battle all race, but is he going to go for it again? Let's kind of get our chopper view here and to give you a better idea of how this is working. So tell who that is on the inside line there. It's making a pass. We see Logan Pax, our former race leader. West will get the position solidly back from Clark. Ellis trying to make a pass on Clark here now. Where's he going to go? I believe he's going to jump at the top, try to get in the draft there with West. I think Clark will have quite the draft he needs to go under West coming into corner 3 as we drop down here. No, West is going to get scared, try to block. He's going to have to lift hard. West hits the wall. Jordan West, your former leader, takes big damage. Now he's getting passed left and right. He's got to let these guys go by. Trobach almost crashes trying to account for West's slow driving pace here because the incident he just went through. And now Ellis going to jump to the outside and try to make a move on Clark himself. I don't believe Ellis has led a lap yet, so a big move happening for him right now. Ryan Ellis trying to chase him down. Stick with our chopper view and go back to our TV camera here, but wow, big move happening. Ellis is going to get blocked hard by Clark. See a lap car running there. Who is that down there? No caution. I wonder what that was there, but Ellis riding close behind Clark. Almost a pass happening there. You got to wonder if it would have if it weren't for that kind of mysterious damaged car sitting at the bottom of the track. And we will go back to yellow, no doubt, because of whoever that was sitting on the inside of the track. But Ronel Tabang is appearing to have damage. Let me try to figure out who that was. So might have been who were on board with Frankie Esposito there, who may have been the car that had that damage we saw a second ago. Trying to tell who that was. Yeah, I think it would have been. And
are you allowed to move under braking?
Context of our race. He's going to drive up there, and yeah, so he was damaged. I'm surprised he was running that far up the track from the inside, but yeah, let's go back and check why he had that damage to begin with. Just I don't think he would have gotten loose. Indy isn't exactly the easiest track to do that yourself, at least not that to my understanding, but it looks like that's the, oh, actually, when we go back, it looks like he may have had contact with whoever he was running with there. So let's go all the way back to the start of this incident. That is the 5 car. Let me try to check who that was that he was involved with there, but I'm actually unable to tell who that was. But wow, yeah, just running beside him. Let's try to figure that out a little better. Maybe we'll bring our chopper cam back. But as we come up here, we see Esposito, the car in the middle there, running side by side with the blue car, just taps him. And again, that was kind of a mutual thing. He looked like he had enough room when he came down that it made sense he made the move he made. But yeah, hard damage on the inside wall, taking many flips, and no doubt in real racing that yeah, that same crash wouldn't have resulted in a car that could even try to get back to the pits. But its very best, it just looked like unfortunately he kind of got involved in the lead battle there. Matt Clark will still be a race leader. I believe Brian Ellis is going to come into pit lane, your driver running second, which means Todd Ricard will move up to second. He's got a bit of a ways to go back to the leaders, but this is big for Todd Ricard because he started 16th, I believe, in our race. And even though, yeah, he isn't second, he's got quite a few lap cars running in between. I mean, yeah, he's been very quick all day and moving up position by position. It feels like every time I check the spot, he's one spot further. So behind him, Devin Crosby, who's actually running right behind Mr. Ricard there in 3rd position. Let's see behind Jordan West, our former race leader, who's been involved in battles all day, is running in 7th position now that he will funnel out behind Sam McAcher, running in another player's entry in 6th position. Brian Ellis has been involved in battles all day, as we just talked about, came in a pit. Must have had damage because he a little bit longer of a pit stop than some of the other guys around him. Michael Trobach, who finished 2nd, that very close finish in our first test race we ran this week. Starting to come out of the pits here in 4th, so he'll funnel out behind all these lap cars. And I'm actually wondering if the Lucky Dog rule is properly being implemented here, because some of these guys, at least in this case, Logan Paxa should, actually Josh Gallagher should get his lap back. So keep an eye out on that, make sure that that is the case. But even if not, I mean, with how heavy the draft is, if guys are able to get good starts, they should be able to pass and take all their positions back, if done properly. So like I mentioned, Logan Paxa earlier, we'll quickly go check how he's doing. But yeah, guys like that who we know were quicker before, they should be able to take that speed, make something of it, and try to win this thing. Actually, it looks like Matt Clark will come into the pit lane, unless he's trying to fake him out again, but I don't believe that's the case. Yeah, he's already passed the just passed the commitment line to the pits, so he will pit, meaning he will file out behind all the guys who just took tires in that first chance to come into the pits, which is going to be kind of a disadvantage because he's going to lose the track position, and he's only going to have 1 lap fresher tires, which when that extra lap was spent under caution doesn't really do too much for you. But Todd Ricard will come back to the start, which means all those lap cars you see pulling past the pace car in front of Mr. Ricard will go ahead and get their laps back. So overall, just a pretty crazy race so far, at least in the early portions, with lap cars everywhere and just a lot of chaos going down. So Todd Ricard will be your new winner your new leader to today's race. Mr. Ricard, as I mentioned, qualified 16th. I don't believe he ran a qualifying lap, but if he did, I don't remember it being a quick one. So you know, he had some struggles early, but he seems to have solved them, and now he'll be leading the pack when we go back to green here. So one of our 2 players' cars in the field, the other being Marshall Crocker Sr. They are in no way teammates. We don't have teams in this specific series, just because they're not big enough. We don't see much point in having a team standing, because they're kind of arbitrary when you run a series is just meant for fun as this one. So Devin Crosby will run in 2nd. He's actually going to start right behind Todd Ricard. When we came to this caution cooldown, he was, I believe, 7th in line. So to move up to 2nd and be right behind Todd Ricard, your leader, already, I believe, having taken a pit stop to this point. Doesn't appear he's pitted yet, so I don't know. He must have if he's made it this far on fuel, but Devin Crosby must have big plans as we come back to green. So looks like Todd Ricard will lead a lap. He'll get his bonus point, and he will take us back to green once the pace car takes the hard lefter into the pits, which we should see momentarily. Todd Ricard, Devin Crosby behind him. Michael Trobach should be running 3rd. Indeed he is. So should have another decent battle for the lead, and Ricard is off, takes a very big jump here, and we are green at the Indy 300. I believe our 6th caution of the day. Side by side as we come to our first lap back from caution here with, or should I say, our 2nd lap back from caution. Devin Crosby will take the lead on Todd Ricard. Ricard, no doubt, with some older tires there. So the question I got to wonder is Michael Trobach, who was running very quickly back there. One of the guys fighting for the lead, running in 3rd. Oh, another brief jump there. Trying to find my crap set, just disappeared quickly, but. Yeah, Ricard trying to make his move back on Crosby, getting in his draft there. Maybe he'll try to make an inside move here as we come out the exit of 4. Will he have the run to get him? I don't believe he... Oh, he hushed my mouth. He's going to go right by on the inside. If he can make it stick, he will go back to being the race leader. Crosby trying to run on the outside, but Looks like he should clear him pretty reliably. And 2 comes very close, but it'll clear him anyway. Those 2 fighting for first and second respectively, but I think that's Rene Hart running there in the Canada car right behind him. And Mr. Hart's been quick all week, and now Trobach comes up in third. Where the heck did he come from trying to follow Devin Crosby? Crosby will manage to take the lead back from Ricard. Back and forth battle here between Todd Ricard and Devin Crosby for that first position. Just bring up another graphic if I have a second. I will. Here we go. Our battle box. So the first time we've used it all race, you see the gap between our cars. And Crosby's starting to get a bit of a gap on Ricard, but Trobach is going to jump under Ricard. He's not going to squeeze him down too hard there, as Trobach might make the easy pass for second, but again, maybe not all that easy as we're coming in 2. Ricard and Trobach side by side. Ricard's going to dive out to the outside, so Trobach's going to follow him. Stream appears to have paused briefly. Wow, we've got issues here. Well, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we appear to have had a brief pause in our action. We are going to go to a brief commercial again as we try to solve whatever.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
There we go. Sorry about the delay there, ladies and gentlemen. We were able to get our stream back up and running. Unfortunately, not unfortunately for this part, but Devin Crosby has retaken the lead from Todd Ricard. Unfortunately, Mr. Crosby seems to be having some issues with his connection issues, so yeah, having a little bit of stream difficulty there, but we should be back up and running. At least we've got the connection hooked up at all. Todd Ricard will stay on board with him. He doesn't seem to be having any internet problems, but yeah, he was passed by Crosby as the race unfortunately had to be paused there. But I wasn't sure to see how he made that pass. But Devin Crosby, as I've mentioned, he's been quick really the entire time we've started the series and started practicing here. Jordan West running very wide. West appears to have kind of clawed his way back here up to third position, trying to make the pass on Crosby. But for the time being, Ricard is dealing with Crosby, and both gentlemen sitting, as you can notice, behind Logan Paxton in that black and yellow car. Logan fighting his way through the field, got his lap back on the lead lap. So if Logan's able to be fortunate enough to get a caution, he may be able to get back in this race. But luckily, we've confirmed that Lucky Dog is on because Josh Gallagher, who I mentioned before, did get his lap back. So all is right, at least in terms of the racing sim world. Now, if I could only be able to pick all of it up. Devin Crosby does still seem to be stuttering in and out, but if we go on board with Ricard here, we should be able to get a good view of what he sees in front of him. So Crosby, amazingly, kind of starting to, juke and jive there with Mr. Paxa as we see him kind of phase in and out. Paxa, who I mentioned, did just get his lap back under green, knowing he's very quick and not surprised, but Paxa and Crosby have to be careful because only one of them is racing for the lead and the other is just trying to keep his lap. So if I'm Crosby, I'm trying to keep in his draft, but not let Mr. Ricard coming up behind him get behind him, and he will indeed. So Todd Ricard trying to battle on the outside of Crosby, coming into the corner. They come real close. They do make contact. Todd Ricard hard into the wall. Crosby manages to make it through safe. No doubt a caution comes out, but my goodness, unfortunate for Todd Ricard as he was having such a good run there. Yeah, that car looks like it's obviously repairable because we've got our quick repairs on, but that was a hard lick he took there off the wall. Let's see that again as, yeah, they came out to the outside and Ricard looked like he had a great run. He must have followed Paxa somewhere down the road, but as they come side by side and we came through into the corner there, just not sure if Crosby came up or if Ricard was a little bit further down than he thought. But let's take a brief pause again and show that from, yeah, let's go from the perspective of Ricard there. So we'll throw up his dashboard there very quickly and look at our start. So you see on Crosby on the inside, this may not be a great view, but yeah, I just looked like he got clipped there and sent into the wall. Like I said, no doubt fixable, but never something you want to do even with your quick repairs because you're going to lose valuable track position. We'll show it one more time here. Perfect from our chopper camera. Card's going to come on the outside, tries to go around, and yeah, looks like I'm not going to make the decision here there definitively on whose fault that was, but just a racing incident. You see Todd Ricard and Devin Crosby come together. Unfortunately, Ricard got the worst of that incident, but yeah, Devin Crosby will still be your race leader as we go back under the yellow flag. Now, he's running. Oh, he's just waiting for the pace car to pass him. So we're going to take another brief break, go on board with Devin again, as I do feel bad about taking another break, considering we just had technical difficulties. But yeah, I'll be right back in a moment. And I'm back after that brief pause there. Unfortunately, the only downside to not having a color commentator here or somebody else in the virtual sit-at-home booth with me is, I got to kill all the time myself. And anybody who's tried to speak for a long period of time before will know that got to get water eventually. And as skilled as I'd like to be without a co-host here, trying to drink water whilst talking, looks like we're just gonna have to take brief breaks like that. So, with I believe our 6th caution of the day, if I'm counting properly. What better time than that as we see Jordan West, our new leader again. He's had quite the race so far. He was involved in a battle at the very beginning. Kind of got involved in a small incident with, I'm trying to remember who that was. He had a bit of a stint with Brian Ellis back there, but yeah. So him and Ellis should be the top 2 again as we come to our 6th restart of the race in 1 lap from now, as we see the lights on the pace car still on. But yeah, Jordan West has had quite the race of adversity here, as he is going to be your leader once again. Brian Ellis in that all-black car running in 2nd behind him. And kind of a return here. Matt Clark will now be back up to 3rd. Clark has had a very eventful race as well. A few incidents there for himself, but behind them, Michael Trobach. If we go back to 2nd through the cameras, Michael Trobach running in that blue and white car you see there, running in 4th. Shouldn't have any lap cars in front of him. We'll see when the camera pans. I believe he is just smooth sailing ahead to Clark. No, take that back. I'm trying to tell who that is. Is that Todd Ricard running in front of him? No, is that Marshall Crocker? It is. It is my father, Marshall Crocker, who is currently only 2 laps down. If he's able to get 1 more lap back, he will get the lucky dog pass and will be back on the lead lap. So he should definitely be holding that hope, because this race is by no means over for him. Jordan West, your current race leader, he's been quick all day, and as we mentioned before, he really had no worries when it came to some aggressive moves, at least not side-by-side Brian Ellis. I know some guys can get a little bit shell-shocked when it comes to people going either above or below them into certain corners, and they get worried, and they get tensed up, and they try to make big moves, or they try to back off too hard, either put themselves in the wall or slow themselves down. So West has kept calm and composed all day, and after a few incidents around him that have definitely both helped and hindered him getting to the front, well, let's see what he can do when we go green again. Brian Ellis had a great battle with him earlier, same with Matt Clark. That 3-man tandem is kind of been a story in itself all day, so let's see if they're able to create some magic again, at least for our fans watching on the broadcast. And Michael Trobach running in 5th will have only my dad in front of him in terms of lap cars, so he's able to get by him. He should have a pretty smooth sailing run up there to the front. As I've mentioned all day, he's a very experienced iRacer, and he's very experienced at this track, so surely if given the opportunity, he will he will definitely have a good run up there to the front. So Jordan West, as we see the pace car, once again makes that hard left turn. We're going to go for our 7th green flag start of the day. Jordan West on the hard loud pedal there, and green flag at the Indy 300. Nice and clean as we come through our first 2 corners. No incidents that I can see so far. Brian Ellis running right behind there on Jordan West, our most recent leaders in the background caution. Disappeared briefly. Looks like Jordan's got some connectivity issues as well, but Jordan's going to jump all the way to the inside, which means Ellis will stick to the outside, trying to make a pass happen on the outside. He's got to get back in the street. Doesn't have the speed there to get behind him, but Ellis is going to try to jump to the inside. Will West come up to block? Yes, he will. West back in front, as I've said, been a very stout defender all day. And Matt Clark goes down to Brian Ellis. I think it's Marshall Crocker, the only lap car in that front 5. Trying to get his lap back, no doubt, and maybe try to become the new lucky dog driver and get back in this race. Michael Trobach running, drafting on nobody there in that 5th position, but Crocker. Ellis is going to go to the outside of West again. West is going to come up to blocks, some really aggressive blocks, as we see one by Clark. Hard block on Trobach there in the 4th position. We managed to make it past Marshall Crocker. Yeah, as we see Jordan West followed by Ellis. Ellis almost goes the wrong way, hits the pit wall. But he's able to make it work. Hushman now might take the lead here. He's able to get him off 2. Which, if I believe so, yes, he may have just cleared him, but only just barely, as West will immediately jump back to the outside. Let's go to our chopper cam again, because this is a battle that needs to be seen from above to be understood. Solid way on the top. Jordan West underneath him. He's going to be able to clear him just barely. Once again, Trobach is moving a little bit back in the field, trying to get the pass on Matt Clark happening. He goes side by side. Trobach is a little bit high, but if he's able to draft there, we'll be surprised if he makes another pass. West. First time Ellis has let a lap in a while, actually. Well, West may have taken the indeed he did. He's still your race leader after that lap. And Ellis on the inside. West may go all the way around. Very solid move there. Ellis with a smart conservative move is spot right behind him there. But Matt Clark in a brief battle with Michael Trobach, and he's back on the move there, trying to go past Brian Ellis. He's got shuffled in the lead. Trobach's going to check might make it 3 wide. He will. He jumps to his inside. Now, Ellis is to check out. Paxa makes the pass. What a move by Paxa. Paxa is just moving up like a bat out of hell. It looks like he's just going to fly by whoever he feels like it. He's going to go behind West. He's going to get to his inside as well. Logan Paxa is your new race leader. One of the most successful, is that 2-lap stints I think I've ever seen. So quite the run through the field he's had. It's going to be a well-deserved push to the front with just how good of a race he's had. Jordan West sitting behind him in second. Ellis with Clark in his inside here. Let's see what happens as they go through one. Clark's just going to have to slide in behind us. Clark will also have some opposition from Michael Trobach run right behind him. Trobach kind of jumps a little bit. Clark was doing there coming out of one. Still not able to tell who's behind Mr. Trobach there. He's going to be drafted up by... Can't quite catch the number on that car. It's 75 and the 88, so one of those men is Samuel McIntyre in the 88 there. You watch, I believe he is right behind Trubach, and he is 4th position. Looks like somebody's moved back a little bit, wondering if there was an incident there, but look, we are going to go back under caution. I didn't hear the sound, but I'm unsure as to what that was. Let's go back through the field. That's Renee Hart running awfully slow for somebody who didn't just have an incident. If that does happen to be the case, but I believe he may be the one we're looking at here. Yeah, he's got some definite wing damage. Hopefully he's got some quick repairs saved up, but let's go back a little bit, try to see what happened there. It's Devin. 96 with Josh Gallagher. Josh just not much to say about that one, unfortunately. It looks like Josh just kind of got up in his tail a little bit. Maybe Renee was slowing down, speeding up. Not sure what happened there, but let's see if Josh has any damage. Josh Gallagher, 96, who I know got his lap back a second ago. Let's check on the status of him. He's on the backstretch. Yeah, he's got a little bit of damage to that front wing. If we go from a rear chase cam on him just to get a good idea of how busted that wing is, certainly not drivable, or at least not ideal. So he will need to get damage to repair that, which means Rich Foligno, at least for the sake of this caution, will get his lap back. So top 10, if I'm correct, should all be on the lead lap, but it is important to mention we did just pass our halfway point, so for all those of you who have been sitting with us for this an hour, 19 and 3 seconds of this broadcast, thank you absolutely for watching. And you know, and on top of this just being a good thing to do for the drivers and guys that haven't raced competitively in so long, at least not people they know, it's nice to know that not only are they going to get a chance to race like this they haven't in a while, but maybe friends, family, and just general fans of iRacing that maybe haven't watched them in iRacing races, or just maybe haven't seen them race in general. It's good to think that hopefully you guys will be enjoying what we're doing. And I know at least so far in today's race there have been some technical difficulties, but I assure you I am very passionate in streaming this series. As an aspiring broadcaster myself, hopefully racing one day is the absolute dream, fingers crossed. But yeah, I have an absolute interest in stuff like this. So yeah, I hope people enjoy it. Feel free to leave in the comments after this race, besides the obvious technical difficulties, if there's anything you guys want to see in future broadcasts. As I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, this is a 10-race series. So with 10 races, all running in different formats. So I understand currently this is an oval race, a 2.5-mile oval, which doesn't get much bigger of a racing event than that. But at the same time, for those of you that are road purists or people that like to see a little bit more turning right in your racing fix, then hopefully next week on Thursday currently, that might be scheduled to change. But you guys will see on either the YouTube or the Facebook, whatever, if you follow anything for the series. We are going to Laguna Seca, which is a complete change from this all-left track. This Laguna is a very difficult track for anybody familiar with it. Yeah, so essentially there's going to be variety in this series. There's going to be new drivers for sure. I have a few guys that weren't unfortunately able to make this race, or a few guys that are road course specialists, but yeah, there are definitely people that are going to be hopping into the series on and off throughout the rest of the season. And just a thing to mention to any of you that perhaps know anybody in this race, or perhaps are just watching this at all because you're a karting driver in Ontario, we'd be more than happy to have people who fit the Karts to Computers method qualifications, that being people that traditionally be on the karting track that are unfortunately unable to do just that now thanks to the coronavirus. So yeah, if anybody who fits those qualifications, or we'll see later in the season depending on our numbers, really anybody in general who wishes to to reach out and join the series, what are the best ways to reach us? You can reach me through Facebook Messenger is probably the quickest way to respond, just because that's where I check all my information for this series. Marshall Crocker Jr. I am kind of the admin and the moderator, so if there's anybody you want to talk to see if you can to join our series and see yourself in one of these broadcasts, yeah, feel free to reach out to me, Marshall Crocker Jr. Spelt, well, you'll see it in the graphic later. You'll see Marshall Crocker's name. My father in another results graphic at the end, so just slap a junior on that, and that's me on Facebook, and reach out to me there. And yeah, we'd be happy to have more people and just, you know, more notoriety and more people watching the streams. We just want to make this into as big a thing as we can, because I know some of the guys in this race like to know that there are people out there watching, and I don't know, it's just kind of a nice atmosphere we hope to create for some of the guys that are just missing the racing fix. So with all that spiel out of the way, we come back to green and about half a lap here. Logan Paxa, your new leader, and my goodness, what a run he's had in the last few stints. He went from, if you all remember, 2 laps down thanks to a crash that happened earlier in the race, but he has just put his head down, run as hard as he can, hit his apexes, and you know, he's back up here in the first position. And with how quick he was run compared to some other guys that he had to go through to get here, well, I wouldn't be too surprised if he maintains this position for a large portion of the rest of our race. So yeah, Gallagher will get his lap back when it comes to the 9th position. Rich Foligno will still be in 10th, so the top 9 drivers will now be on the lead lap. And here we go, Logan Paxa rounds corner 4, ready to get this race started. As we see, it's actually a very interesting camera there. We'll maybe use that for a future restart, but pace car must have taken the hard left here, and yes, Logan Paxa will take the jump for our 8th green flag of the day at the Indy 300. Our first lap back under green, we see Logan Paxa. Todd Ricciardo, he goes way up to the high side right as I start talking, but Logan Paxa with Matt Clark moving up quick behind him, trying to take that first position back away from him. Of course, Matt Clark is the leader in this race. You see him go side by side. Clark may get up to his quarter penalties with corner 3. Yeah, it looks like he will just barely miss. A big check up there from him on Paxa. I guess he's where Paxa might come up on him, but very aggressive check up there is the battle forming behind is Devin Crosby, another guy who's made a big move up after some trouble earlier. Wow, an aggressive block by Clark. Chopping the nose off Crosby there. Crosby might not be happy about that. We're going to have to look out to see if he makes any big moves like Clark there for the 2nd position. But yeah, Devin Crosby back up to 3rd after a very complicated race day for him. Todd Ricciardo, another leader sitting there in 4th trying to chase down Crosby. Michael Trobach, another caution comes back out. Let's see if we can tell who that involved. Marshall Crocker involved in that. Jordan West, former race leader. Multiple guys involved in that. Let's go get a replay of what happened there. But yeah, that's our 8th caution of the day. So yeah, Crocker comes in trying to tell. I can't see anybody around him. So this car a second ago. Actually, a crash earlier. Oh, it's like Jordan West was involved in an earlier collision and just got into him. You know, it's gotta wonder what that was about. Standing out to me, we see that 3-man pack. That's West, Ellis, and I think Josh Gallagher involved there. So yeah, West just plain made contact with the wall. I guess maybe some of the tires weren't expecting to run that high, but he comes up and yeah, you know, the one thing I'll say about that. Probably should have been on the brakes there as he came to the skid, and unfortunately Marshall Crocker got involved in that one. My father, and that's a real shame. Let's see how his race runs. He's trying to go into the pits. Maybe he has a quick repair left to salvage this race. Same with West, taking big damage after hitting the outside wall and no doubt making contact with Marshall Crocker Sr. there. So see if he has a quick repair left, and no, it would look like unfortunately not. So That'll be the end of his day, and Jordan West has had a few incidents, so that could be the same case with him. Back up in front, Logan Paxa will run in first, Matt Clark sitting in second, Davin Crosby running in third, Todd Ricard in fourth, and yeah, unfortunately it looks like, according to my graphics, Marshall Crocker is indeed out of this race, so yeah, just, it was tough luck. You know, it's never something you want to see for anybody, especially just getting involved in a incident ahead like that. So do a quick check on Jordan as well, just to see if he's still involved in the race. He must have used his last quick repair, unless he seems to have a fresh car there. So yeah, just unfortunate luck overall as we come up to lap, if it'll be lap 68 or 69 as we come back to the start there. And the flashing lights will stay on in the pace car, so never mind lap 70, we should go back to green. I should just have a disclaimer that the cautions will get longer as the race goes on, just because more and more guys are pitting and there's generally more stuff to do to clean up cautions. So as we check our timing tower there, so Marshall Crocker, with him out of the race, means we only have 10 guys left actively running in this one. It's like Justin Lewick and John Garrow were unfortunately unable to get started in today's race, so we started the race, same with obviously myself, and Matt Bergeron is the only other driver here who was unable to get started today. Not quite sure why that was. Maybe he just wasn't able to make it for tonight's race. But yeah, so of the 15 drivers we started with, Arnel Tabang and Frankie Esposito got involved with a crash on about lap 32 there. So they are unfortunately out of that race from here. Or they're unfortunately out of this race from there. Here we go. Marco Felice also in tonight's race. Rene Hart, I know, has been very quick every time he's run. Marshall Crocker is pitting, but you got to assume he's out of this race as well. And Rich Foligno should get his lap back under the lucky dog rule if I do understand properly, but that's been kind of finicky this whole race, so I guess I shouldn't assume. But as we focus back to our leaders, Logan Paxa, as he comes to, I believe, the final lap, the pace car will be out, but you know, he had some troubles earlier, went all the way back through the field, was able to fight back, and now Mr. Paxa is your race leader. So with Devin Crosby passing, gosh, I'm trying to remember now, who was up with them? Oh, Matt Clark, he was the guy I had to check on there. Clark doesn't appear to have damage. I appear to have drawn a blank as to why Crosby is back up to second, but Devin, who keeps popping in and out, so maybe we'll follow the driver behind him, Todd Ricard, and Ricard will quickly follow in behind Crosby to form that top three we're very familiar with seeing all day, and Michael Trobach in the fourth position with one lap car in between them to form that top four. And for our top five, Sam McIntyre, who I believe has run a pretty clean race all day. I can't imagine too many incidents with him, at least not fresh in my memory. So it'll be Paxa, Crosby, Ricard, Trobach, and McIntyre to form your top five as we are ready to go green for the Indy 300.
Hey Devin, it says I should be behind the 96 car.
There we go as we come out, we're ready to come out of our final corner here onto our restart as Devin Crosby sitting right behind Logan Paxa, presumably very ready to go for our restart here. I believe this will be the 8th of the day, maybe the 9th, I can't quite remember, but yeah, certainly a crash-averse race by any means that we've gone through, unfortunately, but Mr. Logan Paxa will get ready to take that hard step on the gas pedal. He's already taken it. Green flag for the 9th time for our Indy 300. going side by side. Pax is going to squeeze him up hard. Crosby just managed to get behind him. Todd Ricard in that third position, hugging in behind Crosby, and he'll jump in the draft of Logan Pax. Crosby, it would appear, but Michael Trobach, the fourth for pack, riding in behind him too. Crosby, so Ricard will take that from Michael, but that front four, quite the battle. Sure, but yeah, looks like Crosby is doing everything he can to try to get a draft on Paxa, and so is Ricard, as Ricard hugs in behind Crosby. Crosby takes a bit of time on Paxa there. Might give Ricard the chance to slip under for second, but Crosby's going to rejoin and take back that second place position. So maybe go to our chopper cam here as we come down the straightaway. Absolutely over here. Devin Crosby was still taking that second position, but while I was gone, Trobach has taken the lead, or not the lead, but he's taken third position from Todd Ricard. And behind Ricard is McAchern, and your top five separated by about 0.8 of a second. Paxa just barely clears Matt Clark, but fly by and retain the lead. Now Crosby's got a bit of an obstacle to get by if he wants to take that first place position back from Paxa. Trobach falling in closely behind, with Todd Ricard directly behind him, and McAchern behind him. Side by side, Clark is apparently not happy with taking his lap back from him. Behind one of them trying to take that draft off. Yeah, I believe that's Matt Clark. Crosby's. Oh, Trobach makes contact with somebody in behind. We'll have to see who that was, but wow, big contact being made there. Pull up our graphic to see how that happened. But yeah, Michael has had just a solid, reliable race all day, and unfortunately he's been involved with a wreck on lap. I'll have to check the I believe it's in the mid-70s here, but Crosby at this point. Doesn't seem to go wide or anything, and hard to go underneath the pass. Ricard gets up and he just gets up into the inside curbing. Looks Trobach's nose when he washes up, and Trobach takes a number of ballerina spins there on the inside wall, and let's see if Ricard was left with any damage after that incident. It doesn't look like it, so Michael Trobach, unfortunate for him. Let's go live and see if he's coming into the pits. Wow, it's like a permanent drift he's got going down the straightaway. That is definitely not damage that's easy to look out for. So he'll come in, and hopefully he has a quick repair left. My understanding goes he does, but actually we did not get a caution there after that, so possibly so, no caution coming from that incident. Logan Paxa still with Matt Clark, a place sitter for a second place driver who's still trying to battle him despite being a lap down. Paxa with a hard move to the inside line, trying to block him. Devin Crosby still trying to make something happen with Matt Clark being right in front of him. He's going to follow Paxa to get by Matt Clark to help continue his battle for the lead here. That's been kind of interrupted by the 26, and he will make it around, so Crosby back up in permanent second place position, at least in terms of track position. Crosby's out a little bit, but yeah, he's going to make the move to the outside. So you have to run on Paxa to first. I think he's going to quite get by him. He'll set up with that nice apex there, and trying to make the pass back on Paxa. Now, once again, Matt Clark will try to make a move happen here on Crosby. Guy must really want his lap to happen. You know, as we saw, he was very competitive earlier. That would not surprise me in the least if he's able to get it. He can probably battle for the lead, but Crosby, once again, he's running a much higher line than Paxa is. I wonder if he's able to make that stick and he's able to, I believe he's lifting, but it looks like on some of the slipstreams he's getting, there's a chance that if that is the case and he's lifting and taking a wider line, that might be just when he needs for tire wear, but came close to leading the lap, didn't quite manage to, but Crosby right on the outside of Paxa once again. Back in the field a little bit. Sam McIntyre, the highest he's been in the field all day, is in third position, and he runs there currently. Let's bring up his driver graphic briefly, but yeah, he has just been very solid all day as he runs in a group of 3 guys, 2 of whom are on the lead lap, 1 of whom is not, that being Matt Clark. Devin Crosby's going to go all the way to the high side. Is he going to have to brake to avoid the wall? It doesn't look like it, so he keeps his slipstream going. Sitting right in behind Logan Paxa. That front train of 5, becoming a very literal train right there. All to go in single file as we come into corner 4. Now, Crosby looks like an almost identical photocopy of last lap. Looks like he's going to maybe try to do what Michael Trobach tried in their practice race, where every lap he would kind of run right behind and try to use that high line, and then when he finally needed to take his chance, that being on the last lap, then he jumped to the high side on our final straightaway and tried to make the pass on Paxa. He wasn't able to get that pass down then, and it looks like, at least for the time being, Crosby won't be able to make that pass happen now. Crosby's going to go way to the high line. No doubt have to check up a little bit on that one now. The chance McIntyre and Ricard need to maybe try to make a move past Clark and go up to that battle for the lead, but I will say, as quick as Pax has been and as solid as his defense is, he hasn't been able to pull away from anybody. Actually not right now with Crosby, may be able to, not quite going to be able to clear him, but he'll definitely be right behind him as we come into 2. He's still not going anywhere, and like I said, a very consistent line, and if he's able to make sure he stays off the inside wall, but I think he gets closest to on the exit of 3, then more power to him, and don't mess up what doesn't work, but yeah, he's getting a little bit closer to the inside every lap he goes by, and Paxa again is going to come up to block, but if he gets too close, Paxa's going to have to watch out there, because Crosby's getting faster and faster each time we go by. Now Crosby thought he could sneak to the inside. Clark is going to follow in behind Paxa, but Crosby once again is going to try that outside line. Now will he get his line back? Clark is running a very solid line right in the draft of Paxa, the 16 car, but yeah, Clark will clear Crosby, and now McIntyre might have a chance to go under Devin. Devin just an unfortunate series of events there happening on the front stretch that have put Mr. Matt Clark back in a battle for his lead back there, but Crosby not giving up. He's going to try to follow in behind Paxton, no doubt. Hope he can do the exact same move that just happened to him, but inside of Clark, he might throw Clark's line off a little bit coming out of 4. And that's all he needs to help give him a slingshot here. Looks like Clark will reliably take his position on track back. Crosby might accidentally give up some room to McIntyre if he's not careful. He's got to watch that inside line. Yeah, McIntyre will slide up behind him, and doesn't quite seem to have the move ready yet. Maybe he'll try all race and this run down to 3, but all of the drivers seem to drop below the white line there. Just a very aggressive shot to the inside. Crosby very close, right behind him, and if I'm not mistaken, that's Todd Ricard that's running right behind Crosby. The 2 cars unfortunately look identical, so it doesn't make it easy on anybody to try to tell them apart, but Clark is going to jump to the outside, try the Devin Crosby line on Paxa. Let's see if once again Crosby can try to pull the same move Clark did and go follow in behind Paxa and break away, but she seems to have dropped back a little bit. Maybe Paxa and Clark hit their marks perfectly a few times in a row. And yeah, Crosby just trying to get in that slipstream from Matt Clark. The only advantage to having him there being kind of extends the slipstream bubble from Paxa just a little bit further, that maybe he can get enough of a stream to get up behind both of them. But yeah, that'll happen in behind McIntyre. Looks like he's going to pass Ricard back. I don't know if Ricard's running a fuel or something. He's running really slow, or he's just coming in for a normal pit stop, but it's a little bit slower than a normal pit entrance, so you got to wonder. But again, the battle between Paxa and Clark for lap car. Let's try to check how far behind. So Clark would only go a lap down at this point. He's able to get his position back. He joined Rich Foligno and Michael Trobach as the only 2 lap down. He'd still be a little bit of ways from taking that lucky dog pass, but you know, any self-respecting driver would be pushing for as many positions as they can get. And it's going to be a lot more comforting to be twice as few laps down as he were previous. So if he's able to make this pass happen on Paxa, you got to wonder if Logan's just going to say, well, maybe I'll let you run away a little bit and try to deal with Crosby myself, just because you can imagine it's, even if it's not literally taxing him as well it is right now, Clark might make the move again on Paxa, but You got to think eventually you mentally tax yourself for so long in the position Pax is in, where you're watching two guys swirling around behind you. And oftentimes now in this battle, Clark jumping up to your outside, maybe you're saying, you know what, let's get one more variable out of this equation and just focus on Crosby and Macature behind me. And we previously said Todd Ricard was involved in that situation there, but he is pitted for presumably pit strategy reasons, because just a little bit off kilter with the other guys that are running with him. So right as I say that, Mr. Logan Paxa, our current, or I guess former race leader, will come into the pits, meaning Devin Crosby in the Canadian Tire car will be left to deal with Clark on his own in the lead. We see Sam Macature said third was the highest he's been a few laps ago, but Mr. Macature's now up to second after coming all the way up from fairly far back in the grid. I know, speaking to him personally, Sam is definitely more of a road racing specialist himself. This is his first race at Indy, and well, I mean, for a first race, running in second on lap, is at 86 out of 120. That is not a bad performance at all. Let's try to get a bit of a view here just for context. Crosby might come into the pits this time. No, he's going to stay out. We're going to try to make a big move on Clark to the outside. Let's see if the camera can able to make that move. Looks like not currently. He'll slide back in behind Clark. And Clark's kind of the X factor in this whole situation for the front runners, because, well, he's got his lap back. He's ahead of our current leader, Devin Crosby, but yeah, he's kind of throwing a wrench in the plans of Crosby as we see Macature in lap by lap. Every time he has Clark to deal with, Macature moves a little bit closer, and absolutely a good run for Macature today. Same with Devin Crosby. I mean, he's just been very consistent all day and involved in an earlier collision, but he took his damage back, and well, he's been pushing through the field consistently. So looks like Macature, oh, go for that, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Macature will come into the pits. Same with Crosby. So I wonder who our new temporary leader is. That's Josh Gallagher in the 96 car, following in right behind Todd Ricard, who pitted momentarily ago. Oh, Josh Gallagher is. Yeah, he's just going to run by himself right here. I'm trying to tell he's in the draft of Ricard. He should be, but I kind of wonder how long Gallagher's been since he's taken a pit stop, because yeah, he's kind of running on his own. I can't see anybody ahead or behind him. Currently, as it runs, Macature is still in second. Let's try to watch the battle off pit road happen. I think he may have gapped Crosby. Does Crosby have damage? Because this is quite the pit stop if he doesn't. Crosby is looking in and out. I thought he had disappeared, but that may just be his internet connection. Logan Paxa has rejoined the track. As he goes by Macature, so he'll cycle out right in front of him, which actually is an improvement for Macature, if he can fall in behind Matt Clark here. Check on Crosby. Crosby's still in the pits. Poor guy must have something going on with his car, because he has been there for ages. As Josh Gallagher, you got to wonder if he's going to pit momentarily as well, because at least to my understanding, he was not in that lead group when it came to fuel strategy. So yeah, he's running the inside line. He's trying to slow down. It looks like this may be his in-lap. See if that's the case. No, he would have taken the left-hander by now. So Gallagher, at least for the time being, will fall in behind Jordan Weston, is your current race leader. But Logan Paxa way back. Check for track map is up. It is not. Now would be the perfect time to check it, because well, he's decided to fall in. Let's just see here if we can get back. No, not currently. So unfortunately for context, Paxa, if I do know correctly, is coming out of corner 4. Now let's check on Gallagher. Gallagher's coming out of 3, so the full 3 corners ahead. Actually, Gallagher in a bit of a battle there with Todd Ricard and Jordan West, both of whom battling for the same position at the moment. But Gallagher's going to have Ricard jump out on the inside, though. Ricard trying to get his lap back, and he will as they cross the line. So if the caution were to come out right now, this would be a very different 4-horse battle for the win. But Gallagher's going to let him by, and I mean, if he's trying to run some sort of fuel conservation strategy, not a bad plan at all, because you don't need to fight guys you don't need to if you're just trying to run meaningful laps before you come in for your pit stop. So Logan Paxa, as we go back and check on him, is Matt Clark and Sam Macature right behind him. Once again, I got to give props to Macature, because as a guy who, talking to him going into this race, wasn't very confident with his skills on ovals, and like I said, had never done Indy. He's keeping up with Logan Paxa, who's very, very quick in our test race. So the performance from him, and speaks as a testament to how much work he's been putting in since he found out he could be running here, or how strong this draft is in Indianapolis. So he's going to try to go on over the inside of Matt Clark and take the hypothetical track position away from him, because Clark once again not on the lineup, is currently only a lap down, however. So successful pit cycle from Matt Clark, but Josh Gallagher's going to check on him again. He's got 2 drafted buddies there, and he's going to try to make a move, and yeah, he'll go right under Todd Ricard, who slips up a little bit, trying to let him by, but maybe Ricard's coming to the pits. Does Ricard have damage? Because he is way off the pace here, and caution currently, so I believe he had just pitted, so I don't know if he's going in for, I don't know what's happening over there, but Josh Gallagher, it means, with Matt Clark and Todd Ricard coming into the pits, he's all by himself on the track as we speak. And so let's see, he's coming mid-corner 2, his packs are coming back into 4 as we speak, so if I had to make an approximation, as we see on the timing screen, yeah, about 26 seconds back, so pit cycle here would normally be about 40 seconds, so I can guarantee you that if Gallagher does need to pit and he has 1 extra pit stop compared to the guys still left in that front battle, and unfortunately he is likely not going to win this race, or at least not unless he can make up 14 seconds under green. So still no pit stop from Gallagher. I'm very intrigued by what his strategy is here, but Logan Paxa running in behind. You see the yellow and black car once again. Devin Crosby, who's also trying to get his lap back here. He's the second guy lap down, first being Michael Trova. Let's see quickly where he's running. Coming out of 4, so too far behind Gallagher. Gallagher still running on the track, but Paxer goes all the way to the inside. McIntyre might follow in behind Crosby. No, instead he's going to run in the middle, maybe not trying to get one of their drafts. Is too much of a draft on old tires will send you into the outside wall pretty quick, so he's trying to play the long game again. And McIntyre, if he's able to, I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but if Pax is able to have an incident here for McIntyre's benefit, will become your pit cycles included, he'd become your race leader. So it wouldn't be too bad of a plan here if he doesn't feel confident racing Paxa, or test race winner, to kind of lag back a bit, try not to have any incidents with those on the lap down, and just kind of coast a little bit, or at least for the time being. So maybe we'll stay on board with Josh Gallagher, see if he ends up coming to the pits momentarily, and we're just going to take a brief break from the action, and they'll be right back. And I'm back from taking a brief break there, as we see Josh Gallagher still has yet to pit on lap 98 of this race. So at a certain point, you got to wonder. I mean, I think I've been following him about 15 laps now, and with 29 to 35 roughly fuel tank lengths, well, I'd be very surprised if he's going to be able to do a pit stopless remainder of the race. But right as I say it, he's going to come into the pits, which means Logan Paxa will be your new race leader when he cycles out. If I'm correct, he should cycle out. Josh should be about 3rd, so even all things considered, a guy that I had, for the most part, kind of forgot about with some of the battles happening in front of him, but with some meaningful quick laps done under under green there without having pitted. He may cycle out in a pretty good spot. So Logan Paxa will hop on board with him, and once, oh man, Logan with a very aggressive block on Sam McIntyre, but McIntyre might still have a chance to win this race because I've talked about him quite a bit recently, but man, he's running quick for a guy with very little experience here. Is Logan Paxa, very talented kid here at this track, so it's going to be quite the battle for the finish just in terms of dynamic here between these two drivers. But Gallagher will check where he cycles out, and just coming out of the pits now, you got to wonder if he either had a penalty or damage. But now that we're solidly in here, and do a quick through the field here for you. So Logan Paxa, your race leader, and it's been the case a couple of times throughout the day. Let me wait to move back as we see if Sam McIntyre is able to make something happen here. Go all the way to the inside. Those two guys behind him, I believe that's Devin Crosby and Jordan West, as far as I know. As McIntyre's got some company behind him, but very solid run up on Paxa here. Let's see if he's able to make a pass before we continue to move back in the field. He's going to continue trying to follow him here, but yeah, big move coming in behind. Yeah, he might go all the way to the outside. Let's views here, just make sure we catch this in case it does happen. Jordan West will jump right in front of McIntyre, right as I was saying that he might make a pass for the lead. He's moved back in track position again. Jordan West, who is 3 laps down, really just trying to get any laps back that he can. He certainly wouldn't be doing this for race position by now. So once again, it feels like Paxa just can't take a break mentally at any point in this race, because it feels like once he gets ahead of anybody with any meaningful gap, all of a sudden there's a lap car in his immediate peripheral to worry about. So Paxa with McIntyre about a second back now. No, never mind, about a half second back. He's actually didn't drop quite as far as I thought he did, but West might move up a little bit with McIntyre, and maybe there to take advantage of the draft he's been provided. Now, I'm sure if he were given the choice between having a draft to the car in front of him and just being ahead of the car in front of him, well, I think any self-respecting race car driver knows what decision they'd make there. But to move back and continue our through the field as Paxa appears to have a little bit of a buffer. So Logan Paxa, your current race leader, I believe he's about the most laps of anybody today. And quite the comeback story for him in the middle section of the race. Had a crash, went 2 laps down at the beginning of our race, but has fought all the way back up to first position. Then Sam McIntyre in second. Big talking point for me throughout the race, just because of kind of the backstory for him coming into this race. And then Josh Gallagher, as we see him coming out of corner 4 after he cycled out of the pits. So about 30 seconds back. Doesn't look like he'd be able to catch him under green, but well, if he gets lucky and Paxa and McIntyre happen to have to pit one more time before our race is over, then well, maybe Josh has a chance to win this thing. But Michael Trobach running decently behind him. I see a car. I thought it was a crash, but it looks like it was just somebody with connectivity issues there. Trobach coming out of corner 2 there. And Devin Crosby, who we talked about a lot earlier, who was our former race leader for a while, as he comes out of corner 2 as well. So only a few seconds back at Trobach, but unfortunately not on the lead lap. Rich Felina running in 6th, just kind of isn't near anybody. You can see the lead battle in the background. And then Matt Clark, who has been a big factor in this race all day, even if it wasn't always for the lead. But wow, oh my goodness, right as we go to him, narrowly avoids the pit wall. I'm really not sure what happened there. I went to check. I think that was Jordan West in front of him. He was interacting with briefly, but caught the tire and just kind of bobbled his way up towards the pit wall. Let's see what happened there. So this is the lead battle, or I should say the temporary lead battle between Paxa and West, who's a lap down. I looked to go around him, and Clark just caught West's tire, and that sent him, unfortunately, into the pits. So tough luck for Clark, because that'll also mean he'll have a 30-second pit road penalty for going in too fast, no doubt. For those of you that have seen anybody come into pit road today, that is way faster than it should be. So you go back to Logan Paxa. Through the field will continue. I just want to see where some guys cycle out. And as we check our timing bug, which is just, oh, he's disappeared because it's under replay. So Paxa with West right behind him. McIntyre kind of doubled his gap back. He's about 6/10 back, which should still have control of the draft there. But as we see, the only 3 guys on the lead lap at this point are Paxa, McIntyre, and Gallagher. Your current podium as the race stands, and with 15 to go, you know, looks like Crosby would be the only one able to compete there. It's even Michael Trobach, who has run very quick all day, but just unfortunate time that he had to pit. Looks like his pit strategy that was from the start of the race a little bit unorthodox compared to others. Is unfortunately many has 1 more to complete, but he should still, if I'm if I'm correct, finished 5th. So not a bad finish at all. As we see Paxa, more defense from, maybe that's Rich Foligno running a lap down 7th there, trying to compete still. But McIntyre, once again, just seems like he's drifting back a little bit. We'll briefly get a view of what he's seeing in front of him. But yeah, got to feel bad for McIntyre because he just, and he hasn't quite had the luck he's needed on this certain stint, whether it's West getting by him or I believe Foligno would have cycled out in front of him under this green flag session. So yeah, just tough luck for McIntyre today. And you know, the way that Pax is running with West up near him, well, I could still have room yet for something to go down up there, whether it be a crash or a bobble or something. But McIntyre's in the catbird seat, and I would certainly not count him out of this race. So as we continue to go back, hoping that nothing happens up here. Gallagher still sitting in 3rd, I believe. If I know my track geography properly, he's coming into corner 4. Indeed he is. So yeah, decent ways back enough, but 31 seconds that he should be comfortable knowing that he's not going to get past for his podium position. But at the same time, he's got a pretty unclimbable gap in front of him that I don't think he'll be able to make up, unfortunately. But Devin Crosby sitting in 4th as he comes around corner 4 as well. So I wonder where he is in track position, because it must just be barely behind Paxa, too far behind Gallagher. But Michael Trobach, who we just saw at the pit stop there, who was running pretty consistently 4th for the last little bit of the stint, and so unfortunately moved all the way back to 5th. But you know, a top 5 in this certain points championship format, if you happen to have any of the other bonus points, well, still could be a not bad way to start off the season, and from a points perspective. Rich Foligno, as he comes around, kind of involved in that lead battle, I believe. He cycled out behind Pax and West. Yeah, you see him up there at the top of your, well, now the bottom left of your screen. And yeah, he's been reasonably quick all day. It's unfortunate as well that he's one of those guys that's just kind of either gotten in incidents or had unfortunate pit lock. He is running way slow. I don't know if he's letting Ricard by or he's running to fuel. I'm not sure what's happening with Mr. Rich Foligno there. But Todd Ricard, as we cycled just back on track, running in 7th position. He was a big factor in our early race today. He had a few battles in that top 3 with, I believe the time it was him, Matt Clark, and Jordan West. I believe those 3 who sit 7th, 8th, and 9th respectively. They were all in a pretty good 3-man tandem for most of our race. And Jordan West obviously still involved in this battle with Logan Paxa, that with each lap ticking by, that extra lap is going to mean less and less for him. But you know, again, still, if he's able to keep it clean and not get involved with Paxa too much, well, you know, why not try to see if you can make an easy pass and break away? And, you know, an extra lap, it's still meaningful to guys that are just looking to do this for the competition and for the racing they miss. And Matt Clark, again, probably the number 1 most talked about guy I'll broadcast today, as he brushes the wall a little bit, but he sits in 9th as we speak, just kind of running on his own. Another one of those guys that I don't have an exact description for why he's as far back as he is, but definitely a quick guy that, you know, with the pace he's had, if you were able to avoid incidents permanently throughout the whole race, may have been a little bit further up as we come to 10 to go. And Brian Ellis is out of our race, so only the top 9 appear to still be left in the session. So Logan Pax is still in this battle with West. McIntyre has actually made some of his gap up, so for the time being, let's try to get a good view of McIntyre and see what he's seeing up ahead. So as you look, we're just gonna wait and see if anything happens up there, because he appears to be having at least somewhat of a redemption arc here, as he's gone from about a 2.5 seconds back to, well, currently about 7.5 tenths. So he must be in the draft there on West, because he's got a good push up to the front happening as we speak. And yeah, Paxa just hasn't seemed to be able to break the stream from West, as McIntyre looks like he had to lift a little bit there. Definitely starting to show those older tires that I know both him and the guys in front of him no doubt have to have. Paxa will go up front to check on his battle, but it seems like the most relative one at the moment. And you know, him and West just seem to be kind of a 2-man stuck at the hip situation happening here, at least for the last about 20 laps, because yeah, they have been inseparable, at least as far as we've seen in this current stint. So you got to think that's the only factor left to give McIntyre a chance in this race, at least without the draft. Well, seeing how far back McIntyre is, actually still remains to to be seen if that's the case, because he is starting to close in once again. He kind of plateaued for a minute there, but as he climbs up a little bit, it seems like every point on the straightaway starts to creep back up. And actually, that's Devin Crosby right behind him that is not for position, because Devin's a lap behind, and would actually go, well, 2 laps behind. You'd go back to 1 if you're able to make the pass on everybody in this group, but hopefully he doesn't mess up McEntern's race too bad, even if he is able to break by him. Well, it looks like he will pass him, but actually did Logan Paxa just pitted, so Mr. Sam McEntern would become your current race leader, and that's actually really unusual. I wish I had my lap since the last pit graphic, but McEntern, I'm trying to think. I thought he pitted roughly around when Paxa did. Like, they kind of came in the same stint, so is he running a fuel conservation race? Wow, Crosby's breaking way away from. I'm wondering if he's out of fuel. Let's pull up the dashboard quickly and see how quick he's running, because never mind. Fortunately, our dashboard has been a little bit difficult this entire race, but McEntern, is he going to come into the pits this time by? No, he's already gone past the commitment point there, so Sam McEntern has become to 5 laps to go. It becomes a fuel mileage situation where will he be able to finish off this race with the first position, which, again, I implore to you, ladies and gentlemen, knowing what I knew coming into this race about his confidence about ovals at all, the concept that he is leading this one by 30 seconds is with, well, that's 5 laps to go now, is mind-blowing. So it would be such a feel-good story for him if he's able to win it. Josh Gallagher in second now that he's moved up past Paxa, and I was wondering when they cycled out where those two would be in relation to each other. As we look behind Gallagher, Paxa is, I think you see him in the back of your screen there. I believe he's the second car running behind him in the distance, but Gallagher's got a bit of a gap there. I know Paxa would be on new tires, and Paxa without a doubt the quickest driver all day, and yeah, he's not catching up too quickly, so Paxa's got his work cut out for him if he wants to take that silver medal position on the podium. But let's check in with Logan Paxa, as he just recently came into pit a lap ago, but as I said, the quickest guy all day, and definitely had to fight through some adversity to get where he is. So I'm very surprised to see him pit when he did, so I'm kind of wondering, couldn't have been a damage situation, but maybe he just underfilled his car intentionally, thinking he could cycle out a little bit better, maybe explaining why he made up his gap as much as he did. But Sam McEntern, I assume he checked up because I don't see damage, but he is indeed having to pit. So I mentioned a second ago, Josh Gallagher, the #1 way he'd be able to win this race is if he did it on fuel. And well, with 4 laps to go, he's going to be cutting it close, but if he has enough, this could be exactly what he needs to win this thing. Although, as I say that, Paxa is closer and closer to him every time I check the timing tower. So as we come to, I believe that's 4 to go. Well, this could definitely be a close battle for the finish that maybe a second ago I wouldn't have thought it would be. But oh, what a shame! McEntern appears to have missed his pit box. He's just a little bit too far to the outside, and he can't get in. What a shame! That's just a catastrophe for him right now, because Trobach, he's a lap behind, but he might be able to make up for it and maybe hop back up into that top 3 with that subtle mistake from McEntern. So let's look behind Gallagher again as he comes to 3 laps to go. Many of our racing fans will remember the Alexander Rossi 500 win from, I believe it's 2016 in the 100th running, where he won on fuel and just prayed that, well, I think in that situation it was J.R. Hildebrand who was trying to win the race from him, in this case being taken by Logan Paxa, the guy who had to pit last minute and was trying to do everything he can to catch. But yeah, with just under 2.5 seconds back, I mean, he doesn't appear to be catching him all too rapidly, and with only 3 laps to go, Gallagher just has to keep his head down and try to run his race and hit his marks, because wow, this is what a dynamic shift from a few laps ago. And it appears McEntern, we'll just do a quick check on him. He was able to get in his pit box successfully, and he was able to maintain 3rd position. So Sam McEntern, it's not going to perhaps be the first I was hoping it was a second ago, but man, he has absolutely had a solid day for a guy that his confidence was wavering coming in. So a 3rd place position, definitely not anything to complain about for him. But Josh comes around to take the second to last lap here, and just a quick reminder, I doubt it'll be the case where everybody's running on track, but if we were to get a caution right here, we would go to a green-white checkered situation, which in this battle for Gallagher and Paxa would be absolutely huge. I'm not sure what's happened. Gallagher has just disappeared from my time screens. He's back. Well, it was a little bit bizarre as we come into corner 3 with Josh Gallagher as we come to 1 lap to go when he hits the line again. Looks like he's starting to lose ground to Paxa, but Paxa only two seconds even behind him. Paxa's starting to slowly catch him. Starting to wonder how he's looking on fuel. Almost over to the inside. As he come to 1 lap to go, white flag for Josh Gallagher. 120 of 120. Can he get to that 300-mile mark before Paxa can? Paxa's once again starting to catch him, but not as rapidly as you'd hope with only 1 lap left. Gallagher, you can see Paxa in the background. I'm going to keep this view until we come out of 4 because, yeah, Paxa's still catching him. Paxa's definitely got more fuel, so is Gallagher going to be able to push and give everything he's got to try to make it there? Paxa, as you can see, he's visually starting to get closer and closer, but as they come out of 4, unless he starts sputtering now, it looks like it won't matter. Josh Gallagher, I'd counted him out a second ago, but looks like he will be your winner at the season opener in the Indy 300. Josh Gallagher takes the checkered flag. Logan Paxa, what a performance from him, but just unable to make it work for him and get that first position. But second, I'm sure he won't complain with. And Macatron right behind Matt Clark is going to come around as your final driver in that podium position. Macatron so close to a win there for him, but an unfortunate pit stop meant he'll have to settle for third. But he will definitely take that as Gallagher, Paxa, who appears to have disappeared, and Macatron will be your final top 3 podium positions. Josh Gallagher, what a finish for him today, and let's hop on board in the cockpit. I believe we're about to see some donuts from him, and deservedly so, because what a race performance he put together. Just a very complete performance, if I've ever seen one. Let's get ready for these donuts here, and he's able to avoid the wall, which I was a little bit worried about with how tight this front stretch is. There he goes, getting the tire fireworks out, the tire works, if you will. But here we go, getting some spins going, and he might do a victory lap for the virtual fans at the virtual speedway. Just, my goodness, what a good race for Josh Gallagher. Oh, he's going to hit all the cones. Oh, oh wow, he's going to bring the green cone with him. This is one of the greatest post-race celebrations I've ever seen. The cone is somehow fused with his front nose, so the only guy left on the track, and wow, he's taking the road course. He's leaving, going to run the old F1 track. So, well, Josh Gallagher, I mean, going to have to go to our results screen in a second, but I'm kind of curious to see how this continues to pan out. Kind of curious how the collision physics work. Is that green cone? There we go. It's disappeared. So, Gallagher, that's not the way you go into the pits. He's appeared to have hit the invisible wall behind the barricade, and the charades will come to an end. But my goodness, as we get rid of the timing tower, what a race by Josh Gallagher. I mean, absolutely solid performance there. And if there was ever a full performance, if I've seen one, that was it. So let's go to our final results here, as we see our race results have just appeared. So
yeah, we didn't.
It's just gonna remove everything here, and
that sucks.
Oh, my
got some graphics to
What happened?
some graphics being stubborn that don't seem to want to remove themselves. So there we go. That should pop up.
In turn 1 and 2. I gave them,
Huh.
like,
Well,
a few lanes.
we can.
Got my left
Luckily, I
rear.
believe we can do it with our timing tower. So in first position, once again, Josh Gallagher. We saw the glorious celebration there by him, but man, just absolutely a very solid race for him all around, and
Slammed on the brakes,
just
turned
wow,
into the wall,
overall,
and there was
what
nothing
a
to do
what a
but
solid
pass
performance
him
by
to the
him. So
inside.
as we move away, Josh Gallagher in your first position today, Logan Paxa finishing second. And we've got Sam Macatron finishing third, Michael Trobach finishing fourth, Devin Crosby after that, and yeah, so Trobach fourth, Crosby fifth. Sorry about the sound delay there, ladies and gentlemen. Then sixth, Todd Ricard. Seventh, Jordan West. Eighth, Rich Foligno. Matt Clark, who was a pretty big talking point all race, but he will finish ninth. In 10th position, I believe that's Brian Ellis. Marshall Crocker Sr. will finish in 11th. Unfortunate end of the day for him. Same with Renee Hart, who I know has been quick all week, but just unfortunate circumstances. And that would leave him in. Just check his position quickly. That is, sorry, just having a little bit of a technical issue in the background for me. So after that, it's Hart in 12th, Fleche in 13th, Esposito in 14th, and Tabang in 15th. So a little bit of an issue on my end. Sorry about that. Oh, it is a fault on my own. So let me just hop out of there. Sorry about that. We were accidentally in a public chat. So yeah, with that being said, is kind of a fitting kind of a fitting end to this conversation is Josh Gallagher, your race winner. I believe I'll be able to interview him momentarily, but yeah, I believe he's the only one of our top three drivers I'm able to interview. But well, we got plenty of questions for him because what a performance for him today. Let me just quickly pull up some things, ladies and gentlemen, and then we will be ready for the interview with your race winner, Josh Gallagher. Hey, Josh, it's Marshall. You got me? I can loud and clear. Yeah. So let me just sorry, just a quick thing I got to adjust. There you go. And so first of all, Josh, well, absolutely, what a performance today. I mean, well, I shouldn't say we, I should say I kind of counted you out there at the end there. It looked like Paxa and Makacher in front of you just such solid laps, and they didn't look like they were going to have fuel problems. So I had pretty much counted you out in the win there. But did you have like an alternate pit strategy going, or what was it that allowed you to stay out so much longer than those guys and get the win with a pretty solid margin?
Just because I was the last on the lead lap, and it just worked in my favor. And yeah, I mean, I was hoping those guys in the first two positions would run out of gas, and that just worked out for me. Good race to everybody though. It was really fun.
Absolutely, it was fun to watch, and it felt like there were so many little chapters to that story where different guys would be battling for the front. And what was there anybody out there particularly that you saw was running very solid or that was doing something a little out of the ordinary?
And Logan was really fast all day. I mean, I thought he was going to be the one to win once he got his laps back. Both him and I both ran into some lap problems on the start. We had to both fight our way back through the field, and I thought he was the car to beat, and just got really lucky.
Well, I don't even know about that. I mean, when it came to just running consistent lap times, lap by lap, when you were just really, I'd imagine in your condition, not knowing if you were going to be in that lead battle at any point in the next few laps, just being able to go out there, run clean laps. You had a very clean line of anybody I saw. So, anything I kind of missed out personally on kind of your journey up through the field towards the beginning. I know you started. Did you you either started from the pits or you started from the back of the field? I know you. I think you missed qualifying. So, just tell us about kind of that journey up front. And was it just a matter of crashes around you, or were you pretty consistently making passes there?
Yeah, so qualifying turned out to be a disaster. I don't know what happened, but I ran out of gas. Like I know we were gonna run out of gas, and then I tried to pit to get more gas, but they weren't gonna top me up. So I missed. I basically missed qualifying there. And then me and Logan got into it on just some miscommunication, probably 10 laps into the race or so. Fell a lap behind, and then just slowly just put your head down and plugged away at it until we got on the lead lap again. And then the fuel mileage just played in my favor. Um, I think the next one on my list that I'm really looking forward to is Phoenix. I got a shout out to the LPM guys out there. I've been racing a lot of ovals with them over the years, so I'm a big fan of the oval tracks. Not looking forward to the Mazda cars next week, but I'll plug away at practicing right away and see if I can pick up some speed there.
Oh, well, you got to keep the momentum rolling because you were our defending race winner. You won race 1 of 10, and yeah, I look forward to seeing how you do in our next race. Good on you, Josh, and you are our points leader at the moment. And yeah, just good racing overall today. Quickly before we go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, or anything you want to say before you go?
Just everybody at Loud Pedal Motorsports for helping me out in iRacing the last 2 or 3 years. All the drivers out here, we put on a really good race, I think. Hopefully we can get some more guys out here, and also for you, Marshall, for putting this together. We really appreciate it. We get to race again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've already started missing it, even just watching today's race. So maybe we'll get another channel on this, and hopefully I can sub into a race before too long. But yeah, it's just good to see guys enjoying themselves again, and even in practice, how much work they're putting into their lap times. And I know there are some guys today who, through unfortunate incidents, whether their fault or somebody else's, just unfortunately weren't able to finish today's race. But I'm sure going forward in the season, those same guys are going to have big races. And I have the feeling if you run like you did today and you put your best foot forward, this won't be the last time I talk to you as the race winner. So thanks, Josh, for running, and yeah, have a good rest of your night.
Hey, you as well, man.
Okay, well, that was Josh Gallagher, your race winner, and as I mentioned, just a very solid performance all day from him. And well, he may be downplaying the win because similar to Macature, and he's a guy that kind of last second found out he'd be able to make the session. And I know he's not a huge ovals guy, at least not to my understanding. So yeah, it's good to see a guy like that get the win today. And I know Paxa absolutely with a very competitive race, but I think Paxa has a very good chance even next week as we go to the MX5s. He's a very talented guy, and from my understanding, he's very solid at any track type. So if there's any guy I could put a prediction on that will likely win one sooner rather than later, it's Logan Paxa. But as we come to the end of our race day, well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody watching for sticking with me through this with pretty long, just over 2 hour live stream. But yeah, I think it was what better way than that to start off the series. And again, disregard the graphic that says test race. This is round one or the end of round one. But I unfortunately don't have the point results up yet. We have to do all the calculations and spreadsheets this week. But I believe if any of you follow the Facebook page, which shares the same name as the series, Karts to Computers iRacing Series, we will be posting the score results on the Facebook page. And I have the feeling I'll be doing a kind of recap video for this race as well for those who happen to miss it. Let's try to get it professional and out there, hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, overall, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully, if you were here watching because of a friend or family member in the race, hopefully they weren't out too early. I know some guys didn't have the full race length they would have liked, and yeah, it's really a shame to see some guys I know are putting in some hard work. I know Arnelta Bang, who finished before I go through the results, he finished 15th. I know he was running good laps and he was quick in our practice race. So I'm sure he's one of those guys we'll see out in a few weeks running quick. But overall, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. And yeah, I had a lot of fun broadcasting this. I look forward to 9 more rounds of this current season of the Karts to Computers iRacing series. And I look forward to seeing what other guys are able to step up as we move forward next week to Laguna Seca in the MX5 series. So that'll be Thursday currently. That date could change, and there's a possibility it will. But currently, to run Thursday at 7:30, we go live on our broadcast, so a little bit earlier than today's. And I promised those of you who stood around for our Thursday broadcast that was unfortunately never able to go live, this Thursday one will go live. So that's a promise from me to you. Quickly, we'll just go through our final results once again now that the graphics has decided to load. Your race winner, we just interviewed him and seemed pretty humble, but just a solid overall performance today. Josh Gallagher, your race winner. Logan Paxa finishing second. I believe he led the most laps anybody today, which is extra bonus points in the standings. Sam Macature, kind of the feel-good story of the day, running in third, finishing off that podium position. Then Michael Trobach running in fourth, kind of the most experienced guy in all of this field, and just ran solid all day. But bit of an unorthodox pit strategy meant, well, unfortunately, he didn't finish high as he'd probably like to. Then Devin Crosby to round out your top 5. Todd Ricard finishing 6th, definitely a big talking point all day. Jordan West, who ran with the leaders most of that race, in 7th. Rich Foligno, I didn't really get a chance to talk much about him all day, but was kind of a solid guy, ran the laps he needed to, and didn't fall too far behind, which with some guys unfortunately crashing out early is going to do well for him in the points. So if any of you Rich Foligno fans out there, well, I assure you he'll be back, and his points will show off pretty positively in his favor. Matt Clark finishing 9th. Brian Ellis will end at the top 10. Marshall Crocker Sr. will finish in 11th position. Renee Hart finishing in 12th. Marco Felice finishing in 13th. Angelo Esposito in 14th. Arnel Tabang, I believe, rounds out the field of drivers who started this race. Never mind. Justin Lewick also got a few laps in early, but I think whether it was a technical issue or a crash, he was unable to finish the race. So, and just disregard me. I did not race, but unfortunately, it's impossible to get myself out of the graphics. So, yeah, as we come out of our first round today of the 2020 Karts to Computers iRacing series, I'd like to thank once again all the people out there that made me lucky enough to watch this, and yeah, all of our drivers today for running very solid, committing through races where maybe they weren't fighting for a win the entire time, but finally, I'd like to quickly apologize for some of our technical difficulties we had. I know the stream dropped off. Well, not the stream itself, but our race feed dropped off quickly for a minute, and some of the interview audio wasn't perfect. I know it dropped out there a few times, but I'm in the process of figuring out ways to do all this better so that each and every broadcast can be better and better for you guys out there. So thank you again one final time for watching, and I hope to see you back on Thursday for round 2 of the 2020 Karts to Computers iRacing series. Have a good night, everybody.